Last time when it was up and down.
I can fix it. There we go. All right, finally. Such professionalism, let me tell you. Sam De La Torre, Tackle Shop Confessions, which we're changing the name to next week. I'll tell you all about that. And we've got the president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, Chuck Zimmer, who doesn't have a mic yet. I'll be over there to take care of that in 1 minute. All right, let me make sure we're looking good here. Sam, take a seat. No, you don't have to. Do whatever you want. All right, we're looking good. We got like the TVs on, and we got all kinds of crazy stuff going on here tonight. We good?
Trying to connect.
All right, I think we're good. Let me jump in here. Chuck, what's up, my friend?
How we doing?
Sam, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
All right, well, let me tell you how I'm doing. Let me tell you guys. Scott Buchert is on the Pride fishing for white sea bass right now. You know what that means?
You ain't catching any.
We don't have any tacos. What are you talking about?
I know.
We got no food.
No food.
Scott's been sending the food.
Yeah.
Are you going to bake out there?
Somebody out there. This guy, if he doesn't go more than 30 minutes without eating
Oh,
here,
yeah,
he gets
right.
cranky, real cranky.
Why is Chuck so far back there? Is he afraid of us or something?
A little bit.
Do we smell?
Remember you were talking to him nasty earlier? He doesn't want any more of that.
Oh, yeah. So, Sam, we got a lot to talk about. I already just got a report in from the San Diego Booger. There's a friend of mine on board, Gino. He took a photo with Booger up in the wheelhouse. So we've got that. We got some white sea bass stuff. You guys were on our Endeavor trip. Tomorrow night, I see Travis. I know you're on, Travis. Sam's going to go through the tackle because I've sent him a list of what it is that we need. Weather's starting to come down now. I imagine the Pride's going to catch some fish. The bluefin have been off the bite. We'll talk a lot about that. And of course, the whole point of this show is, I don't know what it is, do you?
We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. The whole point is that you guys get to drive a lot of this with questions, and you do such a great job because we want to answer the questions that people out there have.
The other part of it, too, we would do the shows in the studio, which were great. They were a lot of fun. But sometimes, a guy would ask a question that sometimes was just hard to explain without the items. So what we wanted to do was set it up so that you guys can ask a question. And if it needed for me to go get the item to really make a better explanation of it, we're in the tackle shop, so I can pretty much grab anything you guys are asking about. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely,
was,
right?
I guess the reason.
Yes, I think that's it.
So far.
Yeah, now I've got my thing on here, so hold on. Let's see. Hold on.
watching there,
Yeah,
right?
we're totally screwed up here. So we got Chuck here.
Rocky Four there.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a mess tonight, everybody. We better get some food. We're malnourished. I think that's
This
it.
is what happens, okay?
Yeah, we're malnourished. We need. What do you want tonight? If you had your wish list, somebody out there was going to send something. You want a
Some
pizza? Wings.
Yeah.
Wings are good. Hey, Tuesday.
Pizza and wings.
Wings next door.
Oh, yeah, $1. $1 wings next door. I might have to just go and get them.
Yeah,
I wonder if
really.
I could reach over there. Yeah. I could just work from way over there, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. It's we're here at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. The address here is
21809 Avalon Boulevard.
all right. And this show has become really successful, really quick, mostly because of Sam. Nobody's tuning in to watch me. People were coming in tonight, and they were all running home to watch the show. Right? It's pretty cool.
We gotta get out of here. Let's go.
I know. So, Chuck, scoot up here a little closer. Since the Friedman Adventures budget is not like over brimming with money, I'm going to take my mic off and like interview Chuck.
All right.
Is that a good idea? Will that work?
That's right.
All right. We can do that. Or wait a minute.
You can just sit real close to him.
Yeah, get over here.
real close,
Come here,
yeah.
Chuck.
This is what I was worried about.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, we've got the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club has got this great surf fishing tournament coming up, the 75th year that you guys have been doing this. So you want me to ask you questions, or do you want to just take it away? If you can take it away and talk about it, I can put this mic on you, and then I can relax.
Let's do the question.
Oh,
because
crap.
You're much better at this than I am. So.
I thought I was going to get a break.
Right.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's look at the 30,000-foot view and just talk about the days and what the event entails.
So, this is weird.
I knew that was gonna happen.
It's the only way I can do it.
So, all right. So, Redondo Rod and Gun Club has been doing a surf perch derby for 75 years. Upcoming, it's going to be on the 20th of May, and it's going to be a 2-day event. We've got a bunch of guys that got involved with it, and including Sam here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some raffle and prizes for the winners, and a taco guy at the end, and kind of in a summary. That's about what we're doing.
All right, and part of the whole draw to this is the banquet. I love the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Sam, you've been there,
Awesome facility, yeah.
right? And the
Really
guys
cool.
there are a lot of fun.
Super cool guys,
except for
yeah.
Paul. You know, I mean, everybody
Gotta
else.
watch out for Paul.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's really a family atmosphere.
It is,
It's a lot of fun, and everybody's invited. You can bring your spouse, even if if she doesn't fish or.
So yeah, at our banquet at the end is going to be the ceremony for all the awards and stuff like that. So it's going to be everybody that's entered into the contest is going to be tacos are included. If you want to bring your family, your friends, we just ask for like a $10 donation to
Cover the food.
Keep the food flowing. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So fish tacos by our club, and then we're going to have a taco guy do the rest.
Really? Well, you mean other types of tacos, like carne asada tacos or something, or what?
Al pastor. He's
Wow.
3 or 4 types of meat. So
Jeez.
yeah,
$10, man.
$10 will get you there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you guys I had 2 shrimp tacos today for like $15, and they
Yeah,
were
we were
those
gonna
little
have a tasting
tiny
here.
ones, huh?
I don't know. Where's the tasting at?
Yeah, we're supposed to have a tasting here, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't eat everybody. I'm starving to death. Why am I admitting to that? So, okay, let's talk about how much is it to get in? Where do I sign up?
So it's $20 to get in. It'll be there'll be 4 sign-up locations. One's going to be at the club, Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Next is going to be here at Island Fishing Tackle. We're making Sam. What time are we waking you up, Sam?
You said it was 12 o'clock. I think I said 5 o'clock.
So I wrote on
Yeah.
the flyer 6 o'clock for Sam.
Okay.
But we're going to leave it up to him to make the decision right now.
Okay. It says 5 a.m. right there, so I'm going to be here at
Oh,
5.
I get. Yeah, never mind. We did make the
You
decision
lied.
already. Never mind. Big Fish Bait and
come along with
Tackle
you.
is going to be open at 5, and 22nd Street Landing.
Yeah.
They Mike
they're already there at
Morrison.
5 anyway,
Yeah, so
so
Mike
that's
Morrison
perfect.
is going to do it as well. You can sign the application there, get the rules and your ruler, and there you go. You go fishing.
That's awesome. And I should do the morning briefing from here that morning, right?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, yeah.
And then people are signing in, and
I won't be
That would be
awake
cool.
at 5. So.
yeah, the tournament director, the president,
Right, yeah.
he's not going to be there. All right, so you can sign up at all those places, and I assume you don't have to be there at 5 a.m. If you want to come in, sleep in till 10 and sign up later, you can do that, right?
Yep, that's true. Yeah, so you can sign up from 5 a.m. to whenever the business closes. Redondo Rod and Gun Club's going to be there from 5 a.m. to noon. So at any other location, it's going to be business hours only. Sunday you can sign up, but you're going to have to sign up when the business is open.
Already.
I think already. They need to be open already. Rod and Gun Club is going to be open at 5 a.m.
All right, what kind of prizes are there? What's the deal, man? Can you win anything?
Yeah, Daiwa gave us some surf rod
Yeah.
combos to include in the trip, and then also we got 5 3/4 day trips.
Right.
Also
pretty cool.
for the same combo. And there's going to be some stuff by Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and I think he got us some nets or something like that, right? Yeah, 6 landing nets.
Right.
Yeah, it's really nice that all these people are really getting behind this. So.
Right, I think we need to thank Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, Davies Locker Sport Fishing, and 22nd Street for the 3/4 day trips, right?
That's correct.
Daiwa we're thanking, of course, Sam.
give
We
him a
always
sport
thank
fishing
Sam.
trip.
What's
Where's your sport fishing trip, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Fish, our buddy Fish, he's
Fish,
doing
yes.
something.
So he's doing a out here. I don't want to screw this up, Fish, but Spotfin Croaker prize is going to be $100 extra on that category of fish.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And
Yeah.
then so all the other ones are going to be a barred surf perch, a yellowfin croaker, a corbina, and a halibut. So there'll be 5 categories you can win a prize.
Hey, Charlie's on his first podcast. I see him back there. Look.
Hey, Charlie.
All right, and like if you want information ahead of time, like before you come in and sign up, somebody's watching this,
Right.
and tomorrow they're like, "Hey, when is blah blah?" Or do they have to come here, or can they go on a
You can
website?
either go to one of these tackle shops, the ones we mentioned, and there'll be flyers at each location. You can also look up Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, and it's on our website.
So let me ask this here. I mean, because I'm going to have to try to give this information out later.
Yeah,
The idea is that this tournament is something that they have to they have to sign up that morning.
That morning.
Yeah.
Or after that, yeah.
Or after that. So
Yeah.
it's starting that morning.
May 20th.
And it has to be at these locations. So, okay, let's just say for me, right? So I want to participate. Well, I can't because I'm going to be signing people in. But let's just say I wanted to participate. And a guy came down, or I came down to the tackle shop. And I sign in at, 6 o'clock or whatever. So I pay my $20. I fill out a form. And then I go fishing. Where can I go fishing from here?
So you can go anywhere you want.
Anywhere you
as
want.
As far as you want to drive. We weren't isolating it to certain beaches or
Okay,
anything.
okay.
We want people to fish where they're good at fishing and make it a real tournament.
Yeah,
And
maybe that way there's
there's little honey holes and
or
stuff
maybe
they
they're
need to
gonna-
hit.
One
or,
category, they might be like the surf perch category.
Right, yeah,
So they
we-
want to go to the surf perch beach, and the halibut guys want to go to the halibut
Right.
beach. Or
We didn't
things
want to
like that.
chain it down
Yeah.
to certain locations,
Okay.
and you're kind of fishing in a new area, and you might not know that area.
How late can I fish? Is it 24 hours until it's over?
I would say as long as it falls into the Department of Fish and Game rules, you're good to go.
So how do you know what I caught? And
So-
how is it scored? Is it by weight? By
So yeah,
weight?
we do a point system. It's gonna be, once the flyers are at these locations, you're gonna contact misha.fish@gmail.com and submit your
Okay.
entry with a ruler that has the length of the fish, and that way we provide the ruler
So
on
when they sign in-
Saturday morning. You're gonna provide them a
So
ruler.
you're going to give me the rulers to give them the
Correct.
sign-ins.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so I take a picture. So let's say, for instance, Saturday morning, I go and I catch 5 fish real quick.
Yep.
And then I go fish Saturday morning and I catch 5 more, and they're twice as big. So what do I do then?
I would keep the biggest fish that you have.
So you just take
measure
the
them out.
pictures and
Take
you
the photos,
fold-
and at the end, I
gotcha.
would submit it.
The 5 biggest.
The 5
pictures.
biggest fish you got.
Yeah.
I got you. So,
Yeah.
But once you've submitted one fish, it's you already locked in
Yeah.
for that
So you
one.
got to kind of be careful.
So you just wait, basically.
right.
That's the- that's the
Unless
whole
you're going to
idea.
go for another, say, yellowfin croaker or something like that, or another species.
But you can catch fish from different species. You can catch 5 of each, right?
Correct.
Okay, so basically you want to wait till the end of
Kind of the end of it
till
until you're done fishing.
Till you're done fishing.
Yeah.
And then whatever your 5 best fish are,
Then you can do your
turn
thing.
those in. I got you.
So is there a deadline? I mean, what time
Yeah,
is the cutoff?
Deadline is going to be on Sunday. I believe it's 3 o'clock,
Okay.
just to make sure. Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
You know, something that he was actually going to do, but we couldn't pull it off because of this having to sign in and hand the ruler out because when Chuck and I were talking about this, these guys have been doing it, but we were like, hey, it's not who wins or not. It's just a
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
thing, but you got to keep it honest.
Yeah.
But he was going to open it up to all the guys in Mexico, which would have been
That would've been
bitchin'.
pretty cool. Yeah.
We got to find a way to do that.
We kind of play with the idea back and forth. We'd love to extend it to anywhere. And
He even told me to get my Chinese friends in China.
I mean, they just couldn't maybe come to the banquet, but I mean, yeah, you could have all kinds of tackle shops up and down the coast.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could extend it to maybe like stripers and things like that up north. And,
Yeah.
So
stuff that
yeah,
we don't
we're
have
gonna
down
build
here.
on
That's
this
pretty cool.
and get this going with a
Yeah.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a good
What are the
idea.
species?
For the upcoming, it's going to be a barred surf perch, a yellowfin croaker, a spotfin croaker, a corbina, and a halibut. So each one of those is a category where you can catch 5 fish
And win a prize.
and win a prize. Yeah, win one of the great prizes that were provided by all the sponsors.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Any other questions, Sam? Do you have this dialed in? Are you going to be able to handle these
I'm trying
people?
to think of what else. Yeah.
Oh my God, we got 70 people watching and 500,000 questions already.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what other question, but that to me pretty much covers that. It says here, you got to catch it on rod and reel, obviously,
Rod and reel.
bait or lure.
Yep.
Can't snag anything like that.
So
but-
yeah, if you go to our website, all this information, all these flyers is exactly what's on the
And
website.
what's the website?
Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. I forgot. I'll look at it.
Well, so you can Google that, everybody.
Right.
Google Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Chuck's going to look it up.
After Chuck gets out of here, what probably would be.
He's going to stay for the whole show, he
is,
said.
well, on his phone, if you
Yeah.
can, post the website, so guys can just click on
Oh,
it.
yeah,
You know
that's a
that
good idea.
because that's going to come up again.
Oh, you mean put it on here?
Yeah. Ask
Yeah.
us, as a
Can you
comment,
put a
not
link on
question.
that? Does YouTube allow you to do that? Remember you were trying to
We'll
put
try
a
it
phone
right now.
number?
We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
going to try it.
Yeah.
Good
We
idea,
should be able to do it. Freeman Adventures, right?
I'm sure you can.
We're all new to this.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm sure
well, I'm waiting for
don't
this.
know how.
What? You
positive
just
you
type
can.
it in. What are you talking about? I can do
I
that.
put my phone number on there and it canceled it
Right,
out. Yeah, we
Well, when
tried.
you bought the computer, you asked them if you could do that, right? That was the first question.
Yeah, of course.
They just
I
didn't
bought the
tell you.
computer before I went to China, for God's sakes. All right, do you have it?
It's coming up.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go.
Slow down there, Phil.
The
Yeah,
website
patient.
is RedondoRodGunClub.com.
Just how it
Oh,
sounds.
really?
Yeah.
Tricky.
It's a long
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Redondo Rod, A-N-D, and
A&D,
gunclub.com. There it is. And then you can get all the information. You're going to want to come down and see Sam, though. And, man, that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too.
It won't be too much longer.
I know, it's coming up quick.
Yeah.
So, okay, now is there a limit of participants?
So we do have a limit of 200 people that can participate due to rules and regulations with insurance and all that cool stuff. But 200 people, I hope we hit that number.
Yeah, exactly. This guy, Sam, what Tom was his name,
Yes.
the guy that came in, he came running back in here. He goes, hey, I see you can sign up here. He was ready to sign
Yeah,
up.
you wanna sign up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's involvement. I mean, it's great. Honestly, I think it's going to be great for all the surf fishing guys to get together in one location.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's going to be the coolest part is to hear stories.
And I'll tell you what,
and-
I mean, for Saturday morning only because we're not open on Sundays, but Saturday morning only, anybody who comes in and signs in for the tournament, legitimately they got to sign in. I'll give them 20% off any other tackle they're going to buy for their tournament. So
Whoa.
if you're gonna buy a couple Lucky Crafts, some hooks, whatever. I mean, you're not
20% off.
but you'll get. I mean, obviously not rods and reels. You should have that already. But any of your lures, hooks, anything like that, you guys want to come and sign up. And you're forgetting a few items. Come in and buy them here. You don't have to
Wow,
hurry
thank you,
up.
Sam.
So that hopefully you get a couple more guys to come down and
Heck
sign
yeah.
up. Yeah, but they
I'll
got to
come down
sign up.
here.
Yeah.
All right, to be clear, they come in, they sign up, and
Yeah,
then
sign
they're
up.
eligible for the
Yes.
20% discount.
Yeah.
They want 100 Lucky Craft lures.
whatever I got left after
Yeah.
that 20% off. You got to be first in line probably.
Yeah, right.
But it has to be on that morning. You can't get them. I'll pay you tomorrow, or I'll,
Right.
promise you I'll do it for sure. No.
Sounds like
You
Scott
gotta be in
Bucher
there.
now. Yeah. Anything else on this? Are we good?
No, I think that's it. Yeah,
Perfect.
it's going to be a good time. I
So
hope so.
something tells me that there's going to be like a lot of questions. We may be calling you back, or you can sit here and enjoy the show with us, or
Yeah, I'll hang
fool
out
around with
here for a
Charlie,
little
or
bit.
whatever you
Yeah,
want.
Charlie's over there doing something.
Yeah. And Sam and I would not be really angry at you if you went down and got those wings. No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, I got a delivery guy here. All right, well, let me know. If
All right, Chuck, good
got it.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, that sounds like fun, and 20% off, man, right on. That sounds
Yeah.
like a good deal. All right, I'm going to read a few of these comments and catch up while your phone rings during the
I gotta
show.
answer this. Sorry.
Oh, you do? All right.
Start your commercial.
I'm not going to start a commercial. I'll start reading comments, and I think it's a lot of welcome stuff. Matthew says, time to talk fishing. JC says, let's go. Rocket Dog, are you ready to rumble? Kim Smith, Kim, it's always good to see you. I love that big flag rockfish that Dan caught. Beautiful fish. Hello, Phil, Sam, and the Friedman Adventures family watching from Windy Harbor Island on the boat. Those guys are watching on their boat. And Kim says hi to you, Chuck. Keep your distance and one hand on your wallet, says Steve Bermudez. Is that about you or what? I don't know.
Not about me. It's about you being a little fresh.
Oh, maybe, huh? Matthew says, watching from my son's baseball practice. Thanks for all you guys do. That's a good way to get through
That's
baseball
awesome. Yeah,
practice,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Actually, Diego, I'm sorry. He did actually have a last minute baseball practice. But,
Tonight?
Yeah, so
Oh,
they're out there
man.
right now. Yeah, they're out there right now. But I did want to mention one thing. I know he's practicing right now, so he's not watching. But they had their first scrimmage game yesterday, and he made a nice play from left field.
Nice.
Yeah. He stopped, a strong line drive came out to left field. Was able to stop it, ground it real good, threw it in, and stopped a run from happening.
Awesome.
So, could kind of shut down the inning right there. That was awesome. For being his first game there in 1A, first kind of with the big boys. He was able to stand there and he made a good play. That was awesome.
Fantastic, Diego. That is really fantastic, man. I loved those days when my kids
Oh,
were playing
man.
Little League.
I'm telling you, I was so nervous just watching the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
You know, they always talk about that. You know, you're more nervous than your kids, and yeah, I felt that yesterday. It was pretty awesome.
I'll tell you a funny story. This was like this was after they're kind of old. Patrick was pitching, and it was some big, I forget what it was. They went to some
All-Star
championship,
game, whatever.
something.
Yeah.
And Patrick throws a ball like almost, he's pitching, throws it behind the kid's head almost. Like, and then the catcher throws him the ball, and then he looks in the audience and he smiles at me. And I'm like, I get him aside, I go, Patrick, when you're throwing at the guy's chin, man, don't smile at me right after. You make me look like a jerk.
Yeah. Because I'm taking you down with me, man.
Exactly. You knew I'd like that
Yeah.
guy, though. All right. Joe says, good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Chuck, thanks again, too. Chuck, everybody's loving you tonight. Sniper Gene, Sam, here's a question. For a speed jigging and slow pitch jigging rod, is it a big advantage to have one that is acid wrapped?
Yeah, that's one of the questions, too, that I feel like I haven't really worked out as far as a good answer. I think definitely in the slow pitching, where you have a much softer rod. Here, I'll go grab some of these rods here.
All right, perfect. I'll do a commercial.
Yeah.
We've already done the surf fishing commercial. Hey, we have got 2 trips coming up on the beautiful Apollo. One of them from 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. That is departing May the 31st. 2-day trip. Beautiful trip. That's going to be perfectly timed for sea bass, halibut, and who knows what else. Maybe bluefin, some yellows. And then September the 8th, out of C4 Sport Fishing, will be on the Apollo. If you'd like to join us, all you got to do is send me a text to 657-227-6459. I'll send you the details. Just a few spots available on both those trips. Sam.
All right, so here's 2 rods. Here's a speed jigging rod. This is the Phoenix Megalodon 609, and here's a Phoenix Titan long fall rod. So one of the main differences is that when you're fishing and you're pitching, pitching is kind of like the upstroke here. You're basically making the jig move up like that. As you move up your rod, you're making the jig dance and have action.
Yeah.
So one of the things that happens is that when you make a really sharp movement is that you might have some slack that comes up and may wrap around the tip. Doesn't sound like that's even possible, but it does happen pretty often where you get some slack and it can wrap around the tip. So one of the things that will happen is that because the tip is pointing down, is that wrap will just fall off. Whereas if the tip was pointing up, it might catch the tip, and obviously you don't want to have a fish hook or something like that right at that moment, because a lot of times you'll get bit as the jig is dropping back down.
Yeah.
After you make that movement. So that's one of the big reasons. I know that sometimes with this acid wrap, they're also talking about keeping the rod from kind of rotating on you. I don't know if that's such a big deal with this slow pitching. You're not really targeting big giant fish, and the reels that you're using are very narrow, but that's the big deal there. On the fast jigging rod, like this guy here, like this one from Phoenix is wrapped just conventional, just with the guides on top. Because the rod's so stiff,
Yeah.
you don't have as much of that movement that would cause that. It can still happen, and so some of the guys will wrap it, the other way. It wasn't our food, was it?
No, I hope not.
They'll wrap
Somebody tackle that guy.
Yeah. They'll wrap it acid wrap, so that it'll work for that too. So I think any acid wrap rod will work, but in the heavy stuff, the tuna stuff, the fast jigging, it seems to me, from what I've seen guys use it, it seems like the conventional stuff will work just fine as well.
All right, very good. Hey, Chuck is, I can't see him very well. You might want to check his pockets when he leaves.
Getting in that 20%.
Yeah, really. Joel Lopez says, hey, Phil, it was nice to see you today. Joel, it was great to see you, my friend. Thanks for the help, as always, Sam, with my Fathom and Rod. Joel's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Very nice. I shot a photo with him. Joel, you'll be on the morning briefing in the morning, guaranteed. The Tops, great show. Haven't missed one yet. Fathom first generation reels. Will the sales keep coming?
I'm sure. I mean, I think what he's asking for there is, I think.
You're having a hard
few months
time.
ago, well, I'm trying to figure out exactly what he's asking about.
Yeah.
We're kind of behind on the questions here, but when the second generation reels first came out, and they Penn, pretty much announced that they're getting rid of the first generation and coming in with the second generation. What sometimes the manufacturers will do is that they'll allow the shops to sell below MSRP. And so some of the shops did that, in anticipation of the new reels coming out. One of the things you'll want to do sometimes is you think, oh man, nobody's going to want the old ones. I got to get rid of these
Yeah.
old ones before the new ones come in.
Right.
Like selling an old car or something like that. off
Yeah,
the lot.
right.
Same kind of deal. Well, my experience so far with my customers has been is that some guys like the old ones and some guys like the new ones. So I'm kind of keeping as many of the old ones that I can in stock. There is a little bit of stock out there with some distributors, not too much. But well, once it's out, it's out. And so as far as the sale price, what he's asking me, I'm assuming is that whether I'm discounting them or not, I'm not at this moment because we don't have that many left, to be honest with you. And then besides that, some guys actually prefer them. So I'm trying to hold on to them as much as I can for the guys who actually do prefer the older ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people get used to them. And,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then there's some features, and some things about the old ones that some guy might like. The handles are different and things like that. So some guy might like the older handle versus the new handle or whatever the case may be. Maybe he's already got 3 or 4 of the old ones.
Yeah.
And he wants to buy another reel. He just wants to add to what he already has.
Yeah,
and
right.
It look the same. So
Right.
So for right now, no, I probably won't put them on sale. We're probably going to run out here early this summer, I think, with what we have on the old ones anyway. And so for now, we're just selling them for a regular price, which is the same price as the new ones.
All right. Sounds good. And we're going to get into our trip on the Endeavor, what you're going to need for that, everybody. And, of course, if you're not on that trip, you can still learn something about what to fish for halibut and sea bass. We'll have that. San Diego today, Gino Machino was on there, took a photo with Booger, Captain Ryan Bostian up in the wheelhouse. Ryan, you are number one. That is one fine operation, right? The
Those
San
guys get
Diego.
it, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really good. 2 bluefin, I think, if I memory serves me right, like 60 to 80 pounds. 15 yellow, something like that. I should have written this down. And they had bonita. He said
Yeah.
16 pounds.
Yeah.
Those are big friggin'
Big
bonita,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's that stuff at the Cortez time.
Yeah,
stuff,
right?
In the summertime, yeah. Pretty cool, I mean, that boat to San Diego is a good example of what we talked about a few times about some of the local boats and changing the way they do business. Providing a lot of service, providing a much better value for your money.
Absolutely.
Nowadays fishing just isn't cheap. And so what a lot of guys do, they're looking for what do I get the best most for my money.
Right.
And they've really made a big effort to provide really good service, really good fishing opportunities. Those guys work really hard. The crew members, the captain, they're always chasing like the big prize. So they're a good example of what a lot of boats are doing on the 3/4 day sea. They got RSW, just like. I think the Pursuit has RSW. I mean, that's kind of crazy almost to think about. I mean,
right.
3/4 day boats that have that kind of feature. So it's really, really cool what they're doing.
And while we're highlighting the San Diego, I mean, the Grande, the Mission Belle, the Liberty, if I'm leaving somebody out,
Right.
they all run top-notch or
Yeah.
operations down there.
And it's just natural when one guy does it, and that's the competition. You kind of have to kind of step up, and those guys really have.
All right, Isaac says, hello. Isaac, always good to see you here, my friend. I wish I would have seen you over the weekend when we were down there catching sand bass at 22nd Street. Matthew says, Sam, I'm putting my nighttime heavy jig setup together. I have a PCH XXX heavy that I'd like to pair with either a Valiant 800, Vizix 16, or Vizix 20, and wanted to get your opinion on which you think is best. Thank you.
I personally like the Vizix. I know we've had a little bit of the conversation before about smaller reels and bigger reels. The Valiant 800 is a really nice reel, and one of the things about it that people like is that it's lightweight. The Vizix, which is the Penn Internationals, they're a little heavier, but we're trying to tackle a big fish. This is a monster tuna, so to me the weight of the reel isn't as big a factor, but it is way lighter. Let me go grab those, but I mean. I'll show them to you. They're so much lighter that it's hard to deny that you might want that. So.
All right, while Sam's running off and doing that, I'll remind you all that the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club's surf fishing tournament is May 20th and 21st. You can go to RedondoRodAndGunClub.com for more information and to sign up. And the banquet, man, I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to it. The guys at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club are really stand-up guys. Chuck's here right now, and his son Charlie is here also, so it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Sam.
So these two reels here, this is the 800. This is actually the Vizix 20. Hold on to these here. You tell me what you think about the weight,
Yeah,
It's way lighter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably half the weight,
Yeah, totally.
I would still go with the bigger reel, me personally, but I'm not going to say this reel's no good. I prefer a
Super
bigger
light.
reel.
Yeah.
And they hold about the same amount of line, so.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just.
So why are you going with the bigger one?
I just, for me.
Personal preference.
Everything has bigger parts on it, you know. I might hook a 100-pounder. I might hook a 400-pounder. So to me, you know, if this is going to be my biggest rig, I want to make sure I have. I also have this reel too, but this isn't my biggest rig. I'm
Right.
assuming he's asking this because this is his biggest rig.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, and so if that was the case, then I would definitely go with this guy. If you have something bigger and you wanted a lightweight alternative for maybe fishing the sinker rig or fly lining, then yeah, this is a great option because it's going to be a lot lighter the way you're fishing.
Yeah.
But most
So
of
you're fishing 80 on this?
yeah, maybe 80.
And you're fishing at least 100 on
At
this?
least 100, yeah.
Yeah.
And just the way you're fishing. When you're fishing, you know, with these knife jigs, you're pretty much laying the rod on the rail.
Uh-huh.
So the weight of the reel isn't as big a factor. When you're fly lining, you got to be a little more active, backpedaling your bait and that kind of thing. Or even with fishing a sinker, you're fishing out of gear and kind of like, you know, waiting for a bite. It's going to be a little bit different, and you're holding the rod a different way. So that value might be a good option for that. But I'm going with the big reel for what he's doing.
All right, perfect. And Isaac says hello to Chuck. Where'd your dad go? He snuck away?
Shopping.
Oh, he's shopping. Yeah, perfect.
The door's locked, can't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Daniel says, hello, guys. Glad to hear you all. Daniel Leonos, it's good to see you, my friend. Isaac said, can I just hang out and drink beer here?
Of course.
Can we have a studio audience?
Yeah.
We
we've
got
beer
one
here,
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got two.
Chuck's already 3 beers in, so.
Yeah, Chuck, calm down there. Take it easy, man. Favorite show every week helps the drive home flyby, says Dansky.
There you
That's
go.
pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Where did I have? Oh, I had somebody from Belgium watching the morning briefing this morning.
I had one guy from, man, I'm going to mess this up, Tennessee,
Really?
ordered some jigs.
Really?
Yeah.
That saw the show?
Yep.
That's crazy.
The oatmeal cookie special.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So did he use the oatmeal cookie?
Yeah.
He did.
He did, yeah.
That's hilarious. For those of you who are not paying attention or weren't watching the show, was it last week?
Last week, yeah.
A gentleman, who was it? Do you know who sent us the oatmeal cookies? Can't remember. JC or something
Yeah,
like
JC
that.
did, yeah.
JC.
Yeah.
JC sent us not only oatmeal
Yeah,
cookies, all
they were
these
awesome.
gourmet
Yeah,
cookies. Sam and I are munching down on them. Actually, I munched down more than Sam. And Sam goes, hey, if you walk in here and say oatmeal cookies, you'll get a discount or you'll get something, right? And you had a few people?
Oh, yeah, quite a few, actually. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, the very next day, the morning, first guys that came in the door, like, I'm here for the oatmeal cookies. I'm like, wow, that's cool, man. Wasn't sure. We were just kind of just messing around. But yeah, guys came in. It was cool.
I mean, I was looking at some of the geographical places where people are watching the show. It's crazy. UK, Russia, and then you got everybody all over the United States, New York, heavy in SoCal, San Diego, and Los Angeles. But man, there's people all over the place.
Over, yeah.
That's great. Thanks to everybody. We really appreciate it. All right, Matthew says, or no, let's see. Joe says, any deals on ammo, Chuck? Just kidding. Thanks for all you do for the community. Christopher Martinez, what's up, fellow seamen? It's good to see you, Chris, as always. Let's see, where did I go here now? I went a little too far.
Isaac.
Read that one. All right,
Isaac's
take my money?
No, he wants to know whether I can give him a deal on some line. Of course, Isaac. This time of year, you know, everyone, when the fish start to bite, you know, guys come in with their reels that they bought at the show, maybe they got for the holidays, Christmas, that kind of thing. And they're like getting ready. And very, very common guys bring in their reels that bring 6 or 8 reels or whatever. Or maybe you just want to get fresh line on your reels. And if you're bringing in a few reels, 4 or 5 reels, they'll definitely give you a deal on some line for sure.
Awesome. Very good. PNS Harnjack, hello from Helena,
wow.
Montana, boys.
That's awesome.
Helena, Montana rules. That is all. That's
It's like
beautiful.
9:30 over there already.
I know, man. That's a
time.
beautiful part of the world, isn't it?
It is, I'm sure.
Have you been up there?
I have not, no.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. Joe says, you guys have a young man in the back that could probably handle any technical data problems for you adults. Yeah, I have no doubt that Charlie could figure it out way before we can. Isaac says, take my money. Joe says, I'm going to throw some Mad Max on the beach. I love it. New point, that Chuck is a good-looking guy and a great addition. Hi, Chuck. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm glad that's your wife, so you don't get in any trouble tonight.
I posted the link. I want to see if somebody can either try to click on it or copy paste to make sure I did it right.
All right, yeah. Hey, if you can click on the link that Sam put up and get to Chuck's website, we're doing a check. We'd love you to chime in on that. All right, Chuck, good-looking guy, man. Your wife she better get get to the optometrist.
This next guy said he's
get her
a
glasses
This
checked.
next guy said he's a good-looking guy too.
Really?
Yeah.
Aaron says, was that Ed Norton? LOL. But hey, Phil and Sam, Friedman family. Nate, how we doing tonight? Jansack, hi, know of any surf fishing tournaments? Yeah, maybe, right? Matthew, a local reputable shop sells bite leaders with McMahon clips. Are those tough enough for the big bluefin tuna?
I think the biggest one, I forget the number, I think it's a number 6. Probably be all right. You know, I know that's one that's real common that guys use for making wire leaders for wahoo. I've never seen one open up myself.
Yeah.
And I've seen tuna, you know, that you're fishing for wahoo, trolling a marauder, and guys hook 150-pound tuna. I've never seen one of those open up myself. So I think it'd be okay. I mean, I couldn't say for sure. I've never used one myself, but from what I've seen on the long range boats, I've seen them catch some pretty big fish. So I guess it would work.
All right. You don't sound totally confident about
It's
it.
just one of those things, you know, we've kind of swung so far to using the split rings and all that kind of stuff. That McMahon snap is one that's been in the long range game for a lot of years. So I would try it. I'm resistant to tell a customer to try it
Right.
until I've tried it.
Right.
Just kind of the
You
way
don't
I
want
do
some
things.
guy to lose a fish.
until
and then,
I can say I did it and it worked. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I don't want somebody, running me down and yelling at me
Yeah.
because you get
But
some.
I've seen some big fish caught on it. So yeah, I mean, I would try it. So maybe I got to try it this year.
All right, Kirk Halliday. Good evening, guys. Thank you for hosting such a great show. Thank you, Kirk. I was wondering, what is your preferred knot for tying a hook to 100-pound fluoro, like you would when using a sinker rig? Thanks again, Kirk. Thank you, my friend.
I
Great
use a
question.
San Diego nut. San Diego nut. There's a ton of knots out there. Tri-lead knot, San Diego, double San Diego, things like that. I'm a big fan of the San Diego knot. So one of the things I always tell people that the best knot to tie is the one you know how to tie. And so if you're real confident with a certain knot, I'd say start with that. But to me, that San Diego knot is one that I've had a lot of success with, so that's what I tie.
Turbo T2 says, Sam, thank you for shipping me the oatmeal
That's what it
cookies.
was, yeah, Turbo,
Is he the
yeah.
guy that?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
really?
yes.
He's on here all the time.
He is, he
and
is.
he just gave us $5. Thank you so much. So where's he at?
He was in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah. He used to
Man,
live
thank you.
out here. His number was a 805 number, like I think that's like Oxnard area. or
Yeah,
something like that.
right. Yeah, it's up that way.
Yeah.
That's great, huh?
last name.
Tennessee
Kyle Tanaka, I think.
is his name.
I think.
Uh-huh. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so he got the Isaac just sent us a $20
there you
bill.
go,
Woo! You guys are awesome. Wings tonight. We're gonna eat. Thank you, Isaac. You are always contributing. What? I know, man. Hold on. Don't get excited. I might even keep doing this show if we keep making a little bit more money. Charles Zimmer, who has contributed to the show with his handsome face.
The next comment.
Charles Zimmer just gave a $20 bill, and then his comment is for all the stuff that he jammed in his pockets back there. Well, Sam and I
That's
can't
a good one,
watch him,
Chuck.
right?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is. All right, Chris Nakashi. He's a great guy. Hi, guys. How are people doing with the daytime knife jigging, and what size?
Yeah, so some of the guys that have been coming in and coming off the trips, it's been kind of up and down, this tuna fishing. And one of the things that we discuss a lot is try to increase your odds. You're out there for a day and a half trip or 2-day trip. Sometimes you think, we go out there, you see a report day before they killed it. They catch 100 bluefin, they're psyched, you think you're going out there the next day and you're just going to kill them. Well, as fishing goes, that doesn't always bite that well. So the guys that I think that have really been diligent about practicing the daytime jigging have been, scraping up an extra tuna or two, and that's always the key. Working hard and not being resistant to any new methods, whether it's using a long fluorocarbon leader, small hooks, all the different things.
Trying different stuff.
Trying different stuff. That tuna is still tuna, like you talk a lot about in your morning briefings. I listen to that part there. Sometimes just bluefin just want to be bluefin, and just don't want to bite, So I think the guys that have been putting in the time and not forgetting that at times that night tuna fishing isn't a sure thing. Those are the guys that have been, coming home with the limit still, where the boat maybe catches 25 or 30 fish for 15 guys, or 20 guys, where maybe half the boat gets a limit and half of them doesn't. It's usually the guys that put the time in during the day that end up getting the limit. So I would say for sure right now at this time, I would be doing that for sure.
Knife jig during the
Knife jig,
daytime?
Daytime, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into more the speed jigging thing. I think we were talking about that a little bit
Yeah.
last week, where we were talking like the rod that I just showed you, but also with a jigging reel of some sort. So this is a Torque 40 Narrow right here. This would be the reel that I'd be using on that same rod. And this is speed jigging, real fast jigging. The stuff that Brian DeWin was doing.
Yeah, right.
The seminars about. And
On the
so-
Freedom when we had that event
Yeah.
down there? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think that you guys should probably go back to those videos and kind of review that a little bit. But definitely, I think the guys that are going to be doing that through the year are, I think, going to be the guys who are going to be getting the limits for sure, yeah.
Did you see the podcast I did with Bruce Smith in the Wheelhouse of the Pride? Did you ever watch that?
I saw part of it. I didn't see the whole
So
thing, yeah.
we-
I saw when you spotted some fish. or
Yeah,
something
right.
like
I
that.
saw
Yeah,
some
yeah,
fish, and then, but that was a daytime thing.
Yeah.
3 guys dropped down knife jigs. Did you watch that part?
I didn't, no.
Hilarious. Joe Martinez hooks like as I remember, like a 50, 60 pound bluefin and gets it. So they gaff the fish, they put it on. I turn around, the other 2 guys that dropped on the same thing, one guy's got a Boccaccio, and the other guy's got a red.
Wow.
On the knife jig.
Where are you guys at?
And Joe, I don't know, man. We're driving home from Nicholas.
Oh, okay,
Or we're
okay.
driving to Santa Barbara, I think,
yeah.
island from Nick or Clemente. And yeah, it was so funny, man. I mean, to see that, like Joe Martinez with this giant bluefin, or nice bluefin, and these other 2 guys with the rockfish. That was
Yeah, a
crazy.
couple of years ago, I know we were fishing that 60-mile bank, and we were catching tuna out there. Nice tuna. You know, I think we got some like 200-pounders, and we were fishing squid. We had caught squid out there, and we were using a sinker. Well, if you didn't get bit right away, your sinker would sink down to the bottom, and you had guys that were just not paying attention, and then the squid sink too far. We're getting big Boccaccios over there too. I remember
That's
that
funny.
too.
Hey, a little advertising. Well, I shouldn't say. I just should make this part of the content. The Pegasus is going tomorrow night out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, and they've been red hot. I think they've got 4 in a row with limits. I'm not positive on that. I know they had 3, and I think they limited out on their last one. And they had fish to 160 pounds.
What is it about that? I feel like there's times where certain boats just get on a run.
Yeah.
You know, that same boat will just get them like 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and other guys are doing okay, but there'll be, I don't know if it's a group that they're getting, maybe they're charter groups that they're getting. I don't know what it is, but it seems like there are times that, and the Pegasus is one of them.
He's
they
been
seem
on
like
it.
They get on a run.
I think they work hard at it. Jacob
sure,
on
for
deck, and you know, they just really are on it. Alec up in he runs the boat,
I
bought
fished
the
with them
boat.
last year, and
Yeah.
I know it's a different crew this year.
Right.
But man, I mean, those guys do work hard.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
very good crew.
That boat last year had a great reputation, and then Alec bought it, and he's just continuing that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Pegasus tomorrow night, Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. All right, Isaac says, I got my Visic 16 need line, 100-pound or 130. What do you recommend? My biggest setup I have.
100-pound. That reel is not going to take enough 130, so 100-pound for sure.
David Rosenthal just sent
There you
us
go.
$20. David, man, forget chicken wings, man.
A lot of
we're
chicken
starting to
wings.
move toward prime rib here, aren't we? David, thank you so much. He's a
Well, now you
fantastic.
can leave a tip.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
exactly. David has a Facebook page, SoCal Long Range Fishing, I believe it is.
That's right.
Yeah,
right. That's an awesome page. I've actually referred to that thing a lot.
I've actually told this story before, but I'm going to tell it one more time again about David. He sent me a bunch of clothes to go to Mexico, so that's all Dan and Cedros. And there was one shoe. And so he contacts me and he goes, oh my God, I've got a shoe here. He went to the trouble to go, to box it, to mail it, to spend the money, and send it so I could reunite the shoes. And then,
Yeah.
what a cool guy.
That's awesome, man.
Come on.
That's
So thank
awesome.
you so much, David. Really appreciate it. All right, Rocket Dog says, beers at Sam's.
Come on down.
Yeah, we're going to have a studio audience there before you know it. Aaron says, let's throw some Makairas up there too. David Rosenthal, thanks for making my drive home a lot more pleasant. David, thank you. And back from P.S. Harnick, who is in, that's not. So for today's oatmeal cookie deal, the new one, whatever it is tonight, I can call tomorrow and order that discount and have it shipped.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think about that last
Depends
time.
on what kind of food we get here, right? That's going to be the discount.
Yeah, I didn't think about that last time about mentioning that, but yeah, I mean, I think we shipped out a couple orders for guys, got a couple guys in San Diego, and then out of town too. That guy in Tennessee, but yeah, I mean, that's no problem. We'll do that for sure. I mean, unless it's something that's cost prohibitive, like a rod or something like that. But haven't really thought about what I'm going to do quite yet. But I'm pretty sure whatever it is, will.
You mean you're going to do something else tonight?
Uh,
Yeah, but it's
they're
got to.
asking for it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you got to get food
Ah,
first.
yes,
That's
yes,
what it.
yes.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what it.
It's got to be a quid pro quo here,
Could be
man.
torpedo sinkers, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Right, really. That'll do it. All right. Christopher Martinez, acid wrap equals less tip wrap plus stable cranking with tall, skinny rods.
Yeah. I think that's what we were talking about, keeping the rod stable. That's one of the things people like about that.
Alberto Ponce, who's a caballero. He's a great guy. Albert, good to see you. Been way too long since I've seen you, Crystal, and the kids. Man, we got to make a Mexico run.
He is ready to go, man. He
I
came
need
in
a
the other
Mexico
day.
run. Oh, really? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he got all his big Macairas filled up. He got a couple reels at the show. He got those filled up. So he is ready. I know his boat's ready, too. He showed me a bunch of pictures on his new
How'd it
boat.
look?
Yeah. I
Cool.
think he's going to be fishing that tournament down
Yeah,
there
he
as
is.
well. So,
Yes.
he's ready to go.
Suerte.
And they're catching fish over there now, yeah.
Yeah. It lacks a little consistency like everywhere else.
Right.
It's going to settle down. As I have been telling everybody, it's temporary, right?
Yeah.
Some people start
Well, I think
pushing
yesterday they got a couple nice ones,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, definitely worth being excited about, for
that
sure.
Mara Sport Fishing, whom I haven't fished with, they had one that was 161
Yep. They had a
here
pair.
recently. Yeah.
Yesterday they had a pair of nice ones, yeah.
God, that's great. Yeah. So I'm always happy when my hermanos down south of the border are doing
Especially
well.
coming to this tournament. I think this tournament's going to be a big deal. So,
Me too.
yeah, I hope it goes good.
Me too. Jeff Yeomans from the 540 Slingers Club, another great friend of ours, Sam. Good evening, Phil and Sam. I am enjoying some of that good, great bonita that the San Diego put us on Saturday. Makes great sashimi. It sure does,
For
man. It sure does. And of course, Jeff and everybody out there and Sam, it's the way you mentioned the
Yes.
RSW and everything else. Man, when you take care of that fish that well, it's going to be delectable,
right.
man. And bonita, that's one way I do enjoy eating a sashimi. You know, soy, wasabi it up, baby, and so
Out of the
good.
RSW.
Yep. All right, Joe Lopez, who was here earlier tonight, he says, you guys know around what time the sea bass are going to be going full speed right now? It seems like either at night or before sun out. Overnight boats not doing as good as 1.5 day trips. Well, I haven't heard from the Pride yet, but they left at 7:30 this morning. So they're on a sundown bite
They're
somewhere.
getting them right now, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they're getting them right now. That would be great. Maybe Scott Buchert will have a fish for me. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be on board the Endeavor tomorrow night out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Have you ever fished with Tucker?
Yeah.
Great fisherman, right?
That's another guy, too, that one of those guys that stepped up his operation. I mean, he's doing big things up there. Man, that's a guy you want to fish with, for sure.
Yeah, he does a great job, and I've got my fingers crossed because the weather is going to come down. It looks like it could be a little rain on the way out, little wind, and then during the daytime, it looks like no wind at all. It should be perfect.
Sea bass weather.
Should we talk about what to fish with up there now, or
Sure,
should I
yeah.
catch up on some more questions?
Well, I mean, it hasn't really changed a whole lot.
Right.
You know, the taco is kind of...
So
sea
those
bass
of you who are
taco.
on the Endeavor, Sam's going to tell you what to bring.
Let me go get the stuff while you
All right,
commercial
he'll
on
get
here.
the stuff. Wait, I'm doing another commercial? Yeah. The Apollo out of Fisherman's, or no, whoops. We do have those trips on the Apollo, and the famous Chuck Zimmer, the president of the Redondo Rod and Gun Club, will be on our 2-day trip out of 22nd Street Land. I think we have 2 spots left on that one. That's leaving May 31st. 2 days. The Apollo is looking great. Greg Obi-Mako is not only a great captain, but a lot of fun to be with. Jay on deck, and man, it's really a great rig. So May the 31st, we'll be going on board the Apollo, and that's a 2-day trip. And then September 8th, that one is really selling out fast. It's a 1-day trip out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego. If you want all the details, the price, how to sign up, and all that, just send me a text, please, to 657-227-6459, and I'll send you all the details. Sam.
All right.
To add to that Apollo is that reel I donated.
Oh, that's right. We're doing a raffle on the...
For the trip that I'm on.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect. What is that? What kind of reel is that? A fathom?
It's a 60 fathom.
Pen Fathom
Small with a
60.
100 pounder.
Spooled with a 100-pound. We're going to raffle that off on the 2-day Apollo trip. Thanks to Chuck Zimmer. So a couple spots left on that one, my friends.
So it looks like, from what they were talking about, is going to be, a few items for fishing for sea bass. So it's going to be your your lead heads, these kind of large hook. This is an 8/0 hook with a small to medium head here. This is like a 1/4 ounce to about an ounce. Those are going to be the size of the lead heads there. The Aki Twist hook, which has been a mainstay for a bait hook for sea bass for years and years, you know, so you want to get that. And he was talking about a 5/0 to 7/0. I think the 7/0 has been kind of the one that people have been using, but down to a 5/0.
Yeah.
In sinkers, he pretty much mentioned everything from like 6 ounce to 16 ounce. So I don't need to show you a sinker, but which to me lends to the idea that you guys are fishing that sea bass maybe a little deeper water at times. So that's going to be for the deep water stuff, and then also rock cod fishing. And then
Which is the backup, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you're going to
yeah,
load
yeah.
up on good rockfish on this
And
trip.
then also you mentioned some circle hooks here too, which kind of surprised me at first, but maybe that's going to be something else that he's got in mind for maybe some yellowtail fishing, maybe even some halibut fishing. Now the halibut fishing has been really good.
Yeah, it's been great.
And he did mention larger hooks, you know, 4/0 to 5/0, so that's a pretty big hook. I think he may be mentioning the mustad hooks, which are a little lighter wire, but really, really good for like halibut and sea bass fishing. And then some J hooks just for fishing for the rock cod. He said 1/0 hooks, but real basic stuff, nothing that most guys shouldn't have. And I think that's going to be pretty easy, pretty good fishing. And he's one of the guys that kind of doesn't overcomplicate things. You know, he's always simple tackle, but he gets bit.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
does. Should be a great trip. Bob Gifford was asking me a question. He was wondering, is there a big difference between the 5/0 size hook and the 8/0 size hook in terms of getting a bite?
No,
Are they going to bite it with a squid on there? Yeah, right?
yeah,
Either one.
yeah. So the idea, the 5/0 hook's a good one too, but the biggest thing is that you can load more of the bait on here.
Yeah.
So if you're in any space where there's whitefish or there's like perch, not whitefish, they're fishing that deep, but more of that perch that's going to be picking at your bait. They don't take it off, and with this you can really double and triple that bait on there. And so when you're hooking it, you're not hooking it just once. You're hooking it 3 or 4 times and really kind of threading it onto the big hook. That's the reason for the big hook.
There are two schools of thought with regard to hooking your squid on there. Excuse me. One is put it through one time, and then you got Tino Valentine, the captain of the Freedom, who calls it booger on a hook.
Yep.
And he just says that's all you want on there.
Yeah.
Where do you come down
I
on
feel
this?
like I'm on the second one for sure.
Really?
But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, I've just seen that, especially when there's perch around. You know, maybe if it's a little finickier bite, you know, and once again, even when with the tuna fishing, you don't want to be closed-minded to any of it. You want to make sure that you're open to different methods. So, you know, in any of this here, I wouldn't just get stuck on one. But there are, like you said, 2 different ways to look at it.
Yeah.
And try them both.
All right, sounds good. Joel Lopez, our buddy, is back. I got a Trans
500.
500 spooled with 220 yards of 65-pound Max Quadra and 50 yards of 40-pound mono. Is that enough line capacity to stop a schoolie tuna and enough yards, top shot, to cast an iron without not going through the guides?
Yeah, so on that, definitely enough for a school tuna. I mean, you should be able to catch even a 80, 100-pound tuna with that kind of setup like that. I would say that 50 yards, it's probably long enough so that the knot won't come out through the guides. But what you're going to find is that it's going to end up coming up to your thumb. So when you're casting and you're controlling your cast, you may want to look at your casting weights, which we can show that to you in a little bit, and make sure that you're not using your thumb a whole lot so that knot doesn't come up and rip up your thumb. Let me go grab that reel.
All right, very good. I'll read a couple more questions here, unless it's for you. Let's see, not too much on halibut info with all the halibut being caught. Is there any good local catches around the LA Lighthouse area or Point Furman? It about time to turn on here at home. I'll get to you in a second, William. Good question, but Sam's going to answer this, and then we'll get right back to you.
So this is the Tranx 500 here. This is what reel he's talking about. And if you open up the side plate here, which seems kind of weird that you would have to do this here, but this is where you set your casting weights here. And it's real simple here. You basically are going to push the weight out to the on position. If it's pushed in, it's in the off position. And basically what it does is that when you go to cast, the weights actually will space out or they'll spread out. And what they're doing is that on the side plate here, it's actually rubbing on that stainless steel ring. And what that's simulating is having your thumb on the spool. It's actually a really good system. It's real simple. It doesn't seem like it would do much, but if I was Joel, what I would do is turn them all on, which meaning that they're all in the outside position. Start with that first, and maybe bring one in at a time. Once you start getting the backlash, maybe turn that one back on, and then you should be set there. So that's really going to help you out, especially with that knot coming up. And actually, it's a really reliable, good casting method to do with these reels here.
All right, great question, Joel. Great answer, Sam. William, I think this has been one of the best halibut years I've seen in a while.
Crazy, yeah.
You think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is all kind of that squid related. I know that you mentioned before in some of your shows that, with the market squid not having the same market, that there's been a lot more squid around.
Right.
And so these fish are really keying in on that, and that's the sea bass and the halibut have been around that for sure.
Right.
One of the things I did hear, I was talking to Brian, he was saying a lot of that halibut was also on fin bait.
Yes.
Yeah, on fin bait, and guys just basically using that reverse dropper loop and fishing that fin bait too.
You're talking about Brian on the Monte Carlo?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, he
exactly.
cleaned up. He got a few halibut, a few sea bass. On
Limits of fish
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just cranking on him, man. I mean, he's been really good. Is there food coming?
I was thinking, yeah.
Man,
There's some, yeah.
oh, you're getting. And Sean, I did an interview with him, Sean Roberts from the Pride, and he mentioned a lot of the fish were on fin bait. There's a lot on squid too, though.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
And you just mentioned the reverse drop rope. Yeah. So William, there's fish at all the islands. There's local fish. You see it all up and down the coast. There's fish south of the border. I think all this cold water, Sam, and the water is extremely cold.
Yeah.
I mean, the Long Beach buoy, I believe, was 59 degrees. Man, it is a cold water year so far. That can change, overnight. You get
Yeah.
the influence from the El Nino or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it's paying big dividends in terms of kelp growth, lots of squid around,
Mm-hmm.
great halibut fishing. There will be a white sea bass explosion, maybe tomorrow night on the Endeavor. I mean, it
Lot of
really
cold
looks
water.
good, right?
A lot of cold water. I was talking to Alex from the Royal Star. He came in to buy some tackle the other day for the boat, and they just got back from like a 15-day trip, so they get to see a lot of water on the way up. And he said, yeah, they didn't see a whole lot of that fish you would normally see this time of year. As they're coming up the line, they don't fish for it, but they got their eyes out checking stuff out. What they did see though was a lot of cold water. I mean, basically from like the ridge all the way up back home, it was colder, way colder than normal water.
Really?
The whole way, yeah.
Did he mention the A word?
They didn't. I didn't ask him, but he did mention it. He didn't mention it though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
We
a
didn't
natural.
bring it up,
Yeah, I
I
know.
only talk about that here. I don't talk about that anybody else.
Yeah, you don't want anybody else think you're crazy,
Yeah.
right? All right, Joel Lopez with another one. Thoughts on the Kaimana
Kaimana.
rods? I think they're underrated, especially their jig stick version.
Yeah, that Kaimana series is from iRod. Pretty nice rods. They make a whole line of rods. They're really more known for their inshore bass rods. They actually even have some rail rods too. But yeah, they're not too bad. They have some interesting handles and they're pretty lightweight. So I know some of my customers really like them and they use them a lot. But you don't really hear about them too much. But they actually are a really nice rod.
Great. One more time again, everybody. It is going to be May 20th and 21st, the Redondo Rod and Gun Club surf fishing tournament. You can sign up right here with Sam at 5 o'clock in the morning on May the 20th.
5 o'clock, you'll be here doing the...
Yeah. I'll be here doing the morning briefing
Yeah.
with Sam. That'll be
Bringing
fun.
the wings that day, right?
Yeah, I'll bring wings. Absolutely. You can make wings the whatever it is for the discount, the word of the day. But you can go to you can come here and get information. Sam's got a bunch of flyers, or you can go to www.redondorodandgunclub.com for more information. Travis, burgers and fries are on the way. Woo! Are you serious, Travis? Here we, yeah. Got us going crazy here. Travis is all right. Wild Willie, Evening Phil, and Sam. Wild Willie, great to see you, my friend. Joel Lopez, thanks again for the help with my Fathom 25 today. Sam, I appreciate it. I left my rod with one guide. How long do you think that would take? Have a bachelor party trip coming up in 2 weeks. So curious. He doesn't need a rod and reel for a bachelor party trip.
Yeah, we're about 2 weeks, and we try to get the repairs done quicker than our full builds, and so the guys are really, really working hard to getting everything back done back there. So I would imagine right around 2 weeks is where we're going to be. So give us a call a couple of days before you got to go.
All right, that sounds really, really good. All right. Sniper Gene, Sam, what are your thoughts on a Phoenix Black Diamond PSW 909 Extra Heavy for a jig stick surface iron rod?
Pretty nice rod. It's a rod that's been around for a long time. They even make one that's called an HXJ for jig casting. And they're really nice. It's a rod that kind of, for whatever reason, the year that the Yellowtail were here on the 150, the rod became super popular. And one of the things that people liked about it is that it kind of matched up actually really good with that Tranx 500. It's a smaller diameter rod, and it fits well with that kind of low profile reel. It's a large reel. It's not small reel, but it's a low profile style reel. And so a lot of guys ended up buying that rod to go with that reel. And so now this reel has become one of the premier jig casting reels. That rod's kind of gone along with it. So, and it's performed really well. It's a little bit of a stiffer rod, and some guys don't like that graphite feel to it. But I will tell you that it casts a jig really, really good.
All right, excellent. Isaac, Chuck has a request, Isaac has a request. He said to fill your pockets for stuff for him also while you're back there pilfering through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Slater, Rick, great member of the Freeman Adventure family. Do fluorescent jigs or sticks improve the night BFT bite? That is the question.
Yeah.
Perennial question.
I would imagine at times it does. I would imagine at times it doesn't. So there's really no easy answer. I mean, like I said before, you have to be open to pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Whether it's using a bait, a jig, small jig, big jig, whether it's a pink and blue or it's a polka dot red. I mean, there's so many products out there, and every single one of those, a guy will come and ask you, well, what's the hot jig? And I said, well, a guy yesterday caught 12 on this jig, and then the next day, a guy will come in and say, oh, I got 12 on this other jig, and it's a complete opposite color. I mean, and then we talked about using the sinker, the torpedo sinker with the hooks on it, and guys catch fish on that has no color, just the color of lead.
Yeah.
So, one of those things that I think is most important to think about is not what's going to make it better, but just be open to just about any kind of method, to improve your chances.
Yeah, try anything, right?
Try anything, just about. I mean, the only thing that you have to do, I think, for sure, is be down where the fish are.
Yeah.
That bluefin is not one that's going to come up and start boiling
Right.
in the corner like you would, like albacore or yellowfin or something like that. It just doesn't happen. You got to go down to where they are. So having that marked line from like Line or
that
Odyssey, to know where you're at and to fish that zone, that's really probably the biggest part of it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Morning briefing tomorrow morning, bright and early. Don't miss it, everybody. Raul Amaraz. Phil, Sam, what's up? Hey, Raul, good to see you, my friend. Just picked up a GPX 76 Viper. What reel should I pair it with, Sam?
I personally feel that's a pretty heavy rod. Anything in that larger 30 size, either Macaira 30 or an International 30, that's what I would put on there.
Should we get the handsome guy to sit here and just? No, he's not going to.
Actually, I've got a question.
That's probably
he's
what
got a
that's probably
question.
what got us some burgers.
So, yeah, really, exactly. Yes, the question. I'll repeat it because no one can hear you.
On nighttime bluefin fishing,
On nighttime bluefin
would it
fishing,
be worth running a sinker rig down?
is it worth fishing with a sinker rig?
For sure. I've seen plenty of tuna caught at night, on bait, so for sure,
Is that what you're talking about? Bait fishing with a
Yeah.
sinker rig, or
Yeah,
Sinker, yeah.
Sinker rig, so you
Yeah.
got a fin bait down there making a bunch of commotion.
Yeah, I know that when this bluefin thing first started, one of the things that we saw, we probably try it again, just because I think more people are open to different things now. But we were actually getting some Humboldt squid from some of the seafood markets. I mean, these are those big giant ones, right? And we would make up basically what you would see as a kite rig, with the two hooks and the trailing hook. Basically, we were selling those things with the squid, and the guys would go out and basically kind of almost like dropper loop fish rig. I don't know if you've ever done that at night where you do it on the ridge or lejos, where you just put the rod in the trolling straps and just kind of have a beer sitting out there. Well, during that time, we weren't doing any of this nighttime jigging, so there was no one on deck. Not nowadays you probably you couldn't just leave a rod sitting there. But back then, there was no one on deck, and so we were sending guys out and give it a shot. And they caught fish on it for sure. And there's these like 2 foot long squids, maybe even bigger. I think they were pretty big, but basically using that double hook rig, and they were catching them. So I don't see why they wouldn't need a live sardine either.
Excellent
And
question, Jeff.
I know guys have for sure.
All right, our studio audience is participating now. I'm happy to see that. Jorge Arellano. Hi, Sam. Would you like to get your feedback on an ideal 4-day quiver rod and reel for a 4-day trip? I'm a lefty, so need lefty reels. Best rod to pair them with. Thank you.
So you're looking at probably on a 4-day trip, man. That can get a little bit, extensive. Anything from 30-pound tests all the way to 130-pound tests. So if you're looking at lefty reels, we'll just talk about some Avits or Accurates. In the Accurates, you're going to use everything from a 400 all the way up to maybe an ATD 30. In the Avits, you're going to use everything from an SX or maybe an MXJ all the way up to an EX30 or 30 wide, and pretty much every size in between. And you're going to need 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, and 100. So that's probably about 6 rigs, to really be fully outfitted. As far as the rods are concerned, I mean, take your pick of brands. CalStar, United Composites, Seeker. They all have rods that'll work really well. But yeah, I'd start off with as light as something like a 7-foot, 6470 or something like that from Seeker. In the United Composites, maybe something like an 80 Monster on the light end, going all the way up to like a Viper if you can get your hands on one of those. So there's a lot of options there. We can go on forever on all the different options, but
All right.
full range of rods.
Good stuff. Sniper Gene, not too much talk about Avit Raptors. Yay or nay?
Yay. Probably the reason, they don't really have a big marketing department like a Shimano or Daiwa does and Pan does. And then another thing too, they really haven't changed their reels a whole lot in the last, call it 6-7 years. They haven't really done anything to their reels. So a lot of the market is kind of like, driven by what's the newest, hottest thing. And at the moment, they don't have anything new. But honestly, they haven't really needed to change anything. Their Raptor reels, that's what Joe Martinez caught that big tuna on. Was an Avit reel.
Yes.
And so they work really good. That Avit HX Raptor is a great large reel for the big tuna, especially if you want a lighter weight reel. It's about the same size as this Accurate 800, and all the way down to their SX reels. They're great reels. The one thing they have going against them is they haven't changed them in a while, but in a way that's kind of good. They not a lot of new parts that you have to worry about fixing or replacing. And they work good. They're pretty dang good reels.
All right, very good. How about Jansex 123? Hello from Yemen?
Jeez, what time is it over there?
I don't know. Hey, what time is it there? Are you in the military? If you are,
Probably.
You've got our thanks. Thank you for your service. Deeply appreciated. But I don't think we've ever. What are you looking at?
Getting your car towed.
Oh my God! Again?
Code word for burgers.
Yeah, burgers and Phil's car got towed. That's the new password this week. Phil's car got repossessed. Yeah, that's the new one. Yemen, can you believe that?
That's crazy.
I think the guy is towing my car, actually. All right, back to P.S. Hardjack. It's hard to find saltwater tackle shops here in Helena, Montana. By the way, Phil, I'm the guy who sent you the email about 3 weeks ago with a report from that 3-day trip on the Pacific Queen. He had an absolutely fantastic trip. Are the tow truck guys delivering burgers and fries nowadays?
Man. It could be.
Yeah.
Any way to make a buck, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you. All right, so, hey, it's great to hear from you. Helena, Montana, fishing on the Pacific Queen. He had a magnificent trip, as I remember. So
That's awesome.
Good stuff. Turbo T2. He's our friend in Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, right? Sam, can you recommend any 2-piece, 10-foot jig sticks? Very difficult to fly with rods over 8 feet. Man, it's a pain in the neck.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot, but there is one from Shimano. I think they make one in their Terramar line. 2-piece, 10-footer. I'll have to think of another one comes to
Does
mind.
Daiwa make something? I thought
No.
they don't.
No, not a 2-piece for sure.
Yeah.
No, nothing in the 10-foot range for sure. The only one that I know of is that Shimano one. It's actually a really nice rod. Past that, you probably have to go to some type of custom rod maybe. I know that there's some surf rods out there from a couple of different brands that I've seen that would probably work. Blanks, that is, you have to have it made. But in a ready-made rod, Shimano makes a 2-piece 10-footer.
Hey, can you do me a favor and wake Chuck up?
Yo,
Please?
wait.
Hey, Chuck! What are you doing over there? Where's Charlie? Poor kid. He must be going insane here.
He's got YouTube. He's fine.
Oh, he's good. Okay, good. Oh, he's watching
He's in the back corner of the shop over here.
watching the Freedom Adventures, I'm sure, right?
So he's watching.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to Jorge Arellano. Speaking of torpedo sinkers, how many torpedo sinkers? Oops, my thing jumped on me here. Where are we? Do you see that one?
Yeah.
I got to go.
He's asking how many sinkers is good to bring
Yeah,
in
go
the
ahead.
tackle bag or sinkers for sinker rig setups.
Yes. There you are.
You know,
there's a lot
maybe
of
like
questions.
two or three of each at the most, but I would think 2 of each would be all you would need. Everywhere from a 4-ounce to maybe a 16-ounce. So that's a lot of sinkers right there. You could probably even skip some sizes. Maybe go 4, 8, 16. Probably be okay.
Very good. Isaac says, steak night.
Woo-wee.
Israel de la Cruz, any update on how the Battle of the Branches went today? I have no idea. I didn't hear anything. I'm sure it went fantastic. It was a great event last year.
Okay.
Yeah, super great event. So I kind of got it. I missed it this year for some reason. I've been a busy boy lately. So
Yeah.
you've been making me work too hard. We'll look into that and see what we can find out for you. P&S Harnack, if you ever want to catch 20 in brown trout,
20 inch.
20-inch brown trout, pardon me, or like 12-pound, 28-inch rainbows, I've got them up here. So that would be cool, man, huh? What a
That's a
video
big
that
trout,
would
man.
make. Don't say anything more. We'll be on our way up. Hit the like button, please. Yes, thank you, Kim Smith. Hey, folks, that really helps us a lot if you hit the like button. We've got 102 people watching right now, Sam. And now the like button has gone crazy. Watch it surge past 60 here. It just hit 40. And now it's stuck at 40.
Now it's back to 30.
It's going back. Now it's going up again. It's going to hit 60 before you know it, Sam. 60 likes may be the password of the week. Who knows? All right. Phil, you said use a Daiwa. So Jeff Fuchs said that. Yes. But they don't make.
They don't make one.
Yeah,
though.
they don't make
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So sorry about that. I was asking Sam. Miguel Pichardo. Saludos.
Miguel.
You know Miguel?
Yeah.
¿Quién es?
He's a customer. He's a good guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Miguel.
Miguel, thanks, man.
Gracias por estar
Actually, I
con
think that's the
nosotros.
Miguel that was fixing our
Oh, the
security stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
great
a cool
job, man.
guy.
He's a super cool guy.
All right, Miguel, thanks, man. It was nice meeting you today. All right, Joe says, what is the price of an out-of-state license, and can I get a 3 or 5 day? I don't know what it is. It's more. Is it more?
It's more. Well, so the daily license or like a 2-day license is not more. You know, it's the same for anybody, but I don't think they do a 3 or 5 day.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah.
It's a 2 days the most, a 1 day,
Yeah.
and the year,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But if you're gonna go on a trip, like if you're gonna go on a 3 or 5 day trip, you know they're usually pretty good about making sure you're getting only what you need. So I maybe call the landing and see what they can do for you.
That sounds good. Jeff Fuchs wants to know Daiwa SK knife jigs. They've been really working well.
Yeah.
What size? I've heard 200 to 350 grams.
Well,
What have you heard?
They make them up to 300. So, you know, 200 to 300 size is what we're selling a tons of. They make them, and we carry them down to a 170 size, which has been about the smallest that really been working. But yeah, 200, 250, and 300 have been really the sizes that have been hot.
All right, there you go, Jeff. All right, P&S Harnack. Joe, it's $25 a day this year. I got one last week, or it's like $148 for a 1-year license. Man, the
Yeah.
Freeman Adventure family answering
There you
the
go.
question. SoCal, Drew, evening, Phil, and Sam.
Evening.
So when the captain or deckhand says use a number 2 hook, are they generally referring to owner sizes, must-add sizes? What are they talking about?
Right now, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, I think they're talking specifically about the size 2 Mutu circle hook. I'll bring one of these here to show you.
All right, while Sam gets that, another reminder that May 20th and 21st, the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club has a great surf fishing tournament. I'll be there. Can't wait to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun, my friends. And once again, you can get more information on that by coming by Island Fishing Tackle, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, 22nd Street Landing, or go to www.redondorodandgunclub.com.
So normally they'd be talking about a size 4 hook from owner, but they've been out of stock for a little while, and I think they're going to be out of stock for a little while longer. So currently the smallest hook that is available from owner is a size 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the must-add,
Is there still supply chain stuff going on? Yeah, right?
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you a strong
Okay.
answer on that, but it's not available.
Yeah.
On the must-add, their circle hooks, they're 3X hooks. the smallest size that they actually make is a size 1.0. So they don't even make a size 2. So based on the question, my assumption is that they're talking about the owner Mutu size 2. This is the regular standard Mutu. And for years, a size 4 has been the hot one, but you can't really get them right now. So the next one is a size 2, which is still a pretty small size, and something you could still fish like 40-pound and maybe even 50-pound on. So I've seen a lot of big fish caught on that size too.
Excellent. You remember that woman who was in here tonight,
Yeah.
like 4 hours ago?
That's probably
That's
her.
her tow
Yeah,
truck.
wow.
This is like 4 hours later, isn't it?
Jeez. Yeah.
By the way,
that
some
a while
woman
ago.
was having trouble. She came in here and Sam, hey, we'll charge your phone, whatever you need. That's very
yeah,
nice
yeah.
of you. But yeah, boy, it took them forever to
It's
get
a
here.
long day.
All right, Dan Bates, great show. Calica 25, 100-pound or 130-pound braid?
Well, it depends on what kind. We've been stocking that stuff from Power Pro. It's their offshore multicolored line, and we have it at 130, and it's a little bit thinner than other 130s, not quite as thin as 100. But that reel right there, I personally would fill it with 130 offshore. Would be probably my strongest choice, especially if it's going to be my biggest reel. Once again, a lot of time depends on where it falls in your lineup. But if it's not your biggest reel, I would probably just put standard 100-pound Isoline multicolored is what I would put on there.
All right, very good. Oh, here we go. What are you looking at? Is there food coming or something? Here we go. Joe Lopez. Do you guys remember around 2014 there was a crazy, awesome, good size yellowtail bite about 100 yards off Point Furman? It was awesome. Most yellowtail I ever caught. You think that might come back? Do you remember that?
I remember that. That was pretty freaking insane. I mean, that whole episode there with those fish right out front like that. I mean, I was out there, and one of the things that is crazy is thinking about how we used to recommend tackle. A guy would go on let's just say, we were talking earlier about going half-day boat fishing with my son. We go in the summertime.
Yeah.
Well, normally you go and you're fishing sculpin, maybe some bass, maybe if you're lucky, some bonita barracuda. Some 15 to 20-pound test, a couple size 2 hooks, maybe a couple of egg sinkers, and you're good. You can fit it all in one pocket, and you can fish the whole
right.
day. Yeah, maybe a
Exactly.
couple plastics. Well, during that summer, it was like, well, do you got any 2-speeds? It's like, do you have a TLD 20 or do you have a Raptor? Because it was straight 40-pound yellows on the horseshoe kelp. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you were in China during that time.
I think I
probably.
was, right?
But man, incredible. The best sea drills fishing you would have ever saw in your life
Really?
was right out front. I mean, you could
Really?
literally, probably if you had the energy, pull a kayak out and
I know what you're
catch a
thinking.
40-pound yellow.
And how long did this go on?
All summer.
Oh,
Just
my
about.
God.
Just about. It was incredible fishing. I mean, guys are going out on the half-day boat, morning, Monte Carlo, and catching 5, 6, 40-pound yellows. I mean, incredible. Day after day after day. There was
You're talking about the boat would
gigantic
have
schools.
4 or 5 or
No,
individual
per
anglers?
angler. I mean, it was something you would have
Wow.
saw out of a picture out of the 20s or something like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a special occurrence. I don't know if we'll see something like that ever again.
I will never say never after that
But,
Dorado bite
yeah,
last
at
year
this
and all
point,
this stuff. We
I don't know.
we just are seeing
Yeah.
some of the craziest, best fishing
Yeah.
of my lifetime. And
Incredible.
it wasn't supposed to work that way. It was supposed to be the
Yeah,
further
going
we
away,
got. Yeah,
going
it was
away.
going away, and it was gonna.
No.
The ocean's becoming depleted.
Yeah.
We've overfished it.
Not
It's
that
been the
summer.
exact opposite.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, I mean this
Yeah.
bluefin bite is
Look at
ridiculous.
that. Yeah.
It's insane.
Halibut, sea bass. I mean, what's next? I mean, yellowtail, I guess, can come back. I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could. All right, Thomas Schwab. Nice meeting you this evening, Phil. Thomas from Santa
yeah.
Monica Carson Toyota. Thomas took the time to show me some great photos in his phone of some great surf fishing. He's going to sign up. Thomas, it was really nice to meet you. And he told me a hilarious story about as a kid, he was in the Point Magoo area. His dad was high up in the military, let him fish in there and stuff. And he got in trouble for fishing in a restricted area, killing these big barred perch, giant barred perch. But my dad was born up in Oxnard, so he used to tell me, God, when I was a kid, we'd just catch halibut after halibut at Point Magoo, and it was as good as it possibly could. So, Thomas, thank you, man. It was really nice meeting him tonight. He was
Cool.
in. Did you see him? Or you were,
yeah.
Super
He's a
nice
regular
guy.
in here, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Cool guy.
All
Really
right,
cool
Tom.
guy.
Thank you so much. Brian Brown, Sam. What do you think about the Lexa 400?
Nice reel. It's
How would
one
you
of-
use it, line and rod? He says.
I'd put it on a rod, maybe rated 15 to 40, 20 to 50, something in there. 8-foot to 9-foot rod. Fill it with 50-pound braid. It'll hold about 300 yards of 50-pound braid, depending on what kind of brand you put on there. And honestly, it's probably one of our most popular reels, that Daiwa Lexa 400. The biggest reason is it's very, very, very user friendly. I mean, super user friendly. I can give it to somebody who's never fished before. Fill it up with braid. Put on a little 3-foot, 40-pound leader. Turn all the casting weights on. Well, it's a dial you turn on. Give it to them, and they can cast a jig.
Really?
Never been fishing before. They'll cast a jig. 100%.
That's awesome.
It's such a user-friendly reel. It's incredible. It's one of those things that when somebody asks me about, what do I have to learn to go fishing, right? What do I need? What do I need? Well, normally, we're telling them about how they need to cast a live bait, because it's the first skill that really gets you into the next level of a guy who can catch fish.
Right.
You got to be able to cast a live bait out. Pick a good live bait and cast a live bait out. Well, we say that knowing that it's a hard skill to learn.
Yeah.
It might take years.
Right.
Well, you introduce this reel, cuts that all away.
Wow.
I mean,
that's great.
Yeah. One of the things the guys talk about a lot, when they say, well, there's albacore coming back, and who's going to
Who says that?
Who's going to be able to fish an anchovy, right?
Yeah.
They always talk about it's impossible. These new guys, they don't know anything about fishing anchovies because we've had sardines for so many years.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, this Lexa 400 and reels like it totally changes it. These guys are going to be able to cast a bait, no problem.
Yeah.
That reel casts that good. Yeah, and it's an all-around reel. For the fish that we catch normally, I mean, obviously barring this 100-pound tuna, but everything that we catch on a three-quarter day boat, normally your sea bass, halibut, I'd say yellowtail up to 20 pounds, no problem. Barracuda, all that kind of stuff. Even tuna up to about 40, 50 pounds, that reel will do. So it's a very universal reel for our fishery. I think it's one of the best reels you can have.
Awesome. By the way, somebody put on our YouTube channel today that the Dana Wharf bait receiver had a lot of chovy in it. They're making a lot of chovy now. So
ready to say it, huh?
it's going to happen this year. I'm positive.
Yeah.
Are you?
No.
Oh, come on.
20 minutes for wings.
20 minutes for wings. And we've got burgers, fries, wings. We're going to have a big party down there.
People, yeah. You got beer?
Can people come down when we shut the show off and party with us?
Yeah.
Hey, come on down, everybody. Let's have a party. Charlie and Chuck are the handsome guy over here is going to do. What are you going to do? Your wife thinks you're handsome.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Get her eye. Yeah, I know, exactly.
There you go. The birds are coming.
Joel Lopez, have you guys fished any jetty or breakwall spots? If so, which ones are your favorites? As a kid, my dad would take us to the one that starts at Cabrillo Beach. It was great. Sad they closed it.
Yeah.
Topaz Rock Jetty's pretty good sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that Cabrillo Beach jetty was convenient because all the rocks were flat, so you can get pretty far without having to, be afraid of falling into the water. That Topaz jetty's good, but man,
Seaweed or what?
No, it's a real jetty.
Yeah.
And walking down that jetty isn't. I don't know if I would do it anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I get that, but you can fish like on both sides of the jetty.
If you can get there and just be careful and walk out, if you can do that, I mean, I've actually done it in my younger days. I caught lots of bass there in halibut, especially during these grinding years. Did really good on halibut, and even I'd caught sand bass there, calico bass. I've caught triggerfish off that thing. I mean, I've had a pretty good time off that Topaz jetty, but that's probably one you could start. I know over the Redondo Beach jetty on the outside there is still real common. Guys fish that thing probably every day, but just be careful. When you get some big swells, you want to stay off the jetty and just be careful. But definitely there's a lot of good places to fish.
You keep looking back there, right? You hear any noise at all, you just turn around. I have a really important question, but it's for Chuck. Did you order any atomic spicy type thing?
I got some spicy, some Charlie safe.
All right.
Some Gringo safe too.
Gringos. Oh, you don't like spicy?
No.
Do you?
Yeah, kind of mid-spicy, but I know you're you want to take the challenge, huh?
Yeah.
Give me your hottest stuff.
No, but hey, yeah, I've done that. But
Have you ever eaten over there at the SoCal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They said, they had a ton of flavors.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Probably my favorite. There's the Buffalo Gold. Really good. It's.
I told them just mix it up.
Ah, yeah, they're good.
we're
got
sorry
good
for
stuff.
talking about food right now,
Yeah,
everybody. This is supposed to be a fishing show. What are we doing? I'm the one who started it, right? Yeah. Have you heard of that chip? That you can order that chip? You've never heard of this?
No.
The chip
Oh, yeah,
challenge.
yeah,
It's
that's
one
super-
chip.
Yeah.
I've heard it's. I don't think I would try that.
That's scary.
I've seen people like on TV do
Yeah,
it,
sign
and
a
they
waiver
just
or what?
melt. I don't know. Greg Buchert, Scott's dad, he's a doctor. That guy can eat anything. I mean, he's really
The king
the king of eating
Yeah,
spice.
yeah.
I think he did that with his son Brian.
Tapped out.
Yeah, tapped out. You know what he did to his son Brian? This is a funny story. So Brian goes to his dad. There's 2 big wasabi balls. He goes, "I'll bet I can do that wasabi ball better than you can do it, Dad." And Greg looked at him and said, "Okay, let's do it. Go ahead, Brian. You first." So Brian does it. He's like, ready to throw up and everything. Greg looked at him and says, "You win."
Yeah. Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, that was it. All right. Thomas Schwab, thanks, Sam, for providing all the good tackle resources, both fresh and salt. Geared up for trout tomorrow after stopping by. Where's he
Nice.
going? Do you know?
He was, God, where was he going? I don't remember, but I know he
Chuck,
came
he
in-
was
yeah,
talking to
yeah.
you. He was going trout fishing, Thomas, the guy that's joining the surf fishing?
Yeah, he mentioned he was going to, I don't think it was Grant Lake. I was somewhere.
Sierra's
All
up
right.
there, yeah.
He's going
yeah. I
somewhere.
overheard a little bit.
Joe
yeah.
Lopez, do you guys carry any Duran clamps?
Yeah, they're the clamps guys. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're aftermarket clamps guys use for putting their reels onto some larger jig sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually sell those quite a bit. They're pretty nice. Yeah, we do carry them.
105 people watching right now, and we're up to 60
Wait till we
likes
start eating.
almost. Come on, I know. Wait, hey, look, Sam.
Huh?
Sam.
Oh.
Sam. Sam. Somebody's here. Oh my God. We got so. Yeah, he run. Look, folks, this is a very exciting time here on the Freeman Adventures live channel.
Thank you.
See right here,
Some
it's
lovely
probably
woman.
one.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
All right.
It's probably,
Just
I'm
the
pretty
app.
sure it's Grubhub.
Yeah. All right.
What do we got? Are we eating during the show or not? That looks like Travis burgers and fries.
Yep.
You want some of this? Come on, man.
I know
You guys
Chuck
are-
wants some.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got burgers and fries too. Why don't you look in there and see what there is, Chuck?
That's you right there. Look.
What is it? We should thank Travis, man.
Travis, thank you.
Travis,
A couple of fat burger.
big hug
burgers.
for you, man. You're number
Chuck, you want a
one.
burger?
Are you gonna have
Charlie?
one?
Yes.
There's fries,
Over
there's
here. Or
burgers,
get
man.
around here. There you go.
Perfect.
We'll get 'em.
Charlie's starving to
We'll get
death.
'em.
All right, he's going to get that while I mention that Fish from Worm King Lures, who has contributed to this. You want to come over here and say anything to Fish? He's watching. He just threw us a $10 bill to help us out. So, Fish, we thank you so much. And when I say this, I'm talking about the Redondo Beach, or Redondo Rod and Gun Club Surf Fishing Tournament, May 20th and 21st. And that is going to be something special. Charlie is starving to death. Sam is coming with plates. The show is getting out of control now. And we thank Travis Bright for sending us some food. Is it burger and fries now? Is
Yeah.
that going to be the code word?
It could be.
Yeah, there you go.
Whee!
All right, we're styling now.
What the heck? Just meat. Meat on
All
the
right,
outside.
Joel Lopez says, I recently watched the Jeff Jessup interview, and y'all reminded me what it was like fishing 75 plus people on a boat. And yeah, it was crazy. Man, it was crazy. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, 75 on the boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chuck, here, have some fries.
I'm waiting for some wings.
There you go. All right. Here, Sam, cut this in half or whatever. You and I will share it.
Plenty of food.
Or cut it in whatever.
Yeah.
We have to indulge in Travis's food. All right. Hey, Joel, I decked on the searcher, and there was, I'm not kidding, I think it was 99 people. And man, when you went to the bow to Gaffin Albacore with 90 people on the boat, it was brutal. Obviously, not everybody, most people didn't have a stateroom, so you're just like littered all over the galley, or it was just really brutal in some ways. However, one thing it did was it kept the cost down. That's number one. And number two, it also got more people into the sport in a funny kind of way, because now we have these limited loads and not that many people participating in saltwater fishing. So I'm not advocating that we go back to those days, but there was kind of a give and take with regard to doing it. There's no question about it. It is way better now to fish with the lighter loads, no question about it. All right, Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, well represented, everyone. at the Surf Fishing Derby. That's Joseph Tumpap Jr. Do you know him?
That's JoJo. Yeah, he's a club member.
JoJo, thanks for being here tonight. Chuck, you want to sit down here for a second? You want to say anything about the tournament?
One thing I was going to
Here, I'm going to turn this over to Chuck while I eat a French fry.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, one thing I want to kind of mention is that we have our meeting every Thursday night, and you're more than welcome to come down and say hi. You know, we're always up to something. It starts at most nights start at 8 o'clock, but generally people show up around 7:30.
Did Sam go to the bathroom or something?
I don't know.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it sounds like he did. So, where are you located? Do you
So,
just
yeah,
walk in the door? Or
So
what?
we're at 2023 Vanderbilt Lane in Redondo Beach. Walk in, say, hey, I saw y'all Chuck on Phil Friedman or down at Island Fish, whatever, don't matter. If you're into hunting or fishing, that's us.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. Thank you, Chuck.
I'm gonna go look for some wings.
You're going to go look for him?
Well, I gotta go pick them up.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Is the door open? Can he get out?
Oh wait.
We're out of control here, everybody.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
It's a lock. Okay.
Let's get back to the show because I think that's what we're trying to do here.
listen.
Darth Betty White.
Let's go.
Hold on one second
Domino's.
because I'm going to turn that
Really?
over to Sam.
Uh-oh.
What?
got more food than we know it.
We got more food coming? Oh my God, you guys are out of control. We got.
I'll be right back.
Hey, can we have the pizza guy come in and introduce himself to our live show? What's your name?
Michael Cantoni.
Michael. Cantoni, let me have a handshake, my friend. No problem. Michael, look right up there and say hi. There's 100 people watching you right now.
Where can I watch you guys?
Friedman Adventures YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You're on there. Michael, you're number one. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks,
Whoa, this looks
yeah,
like
you
really
got it.
good
Thank you.
pizza.
All right.
Who sent that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sam, did you see this?
Uh-uh.
Have you ever seen this pizza before?
Me neither.
This is turning into a Food Network show now. Look at that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's a burger, man.
No, forget it. No, I'm kidding. No, what are you going to do? Eat the pizza? All right. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the show here for a second.
Crazy.
Would an X50 with a Phoenix Axis 80 to 130 pound be good pairing?
So this is a VIS 650?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very good.
You
it's
have no
good.
idea what you're talking about now.
An EX50.
Wow, these-
So that's an Avid. That's an Avid reel. Yeah, very nice heavy duty reel. It's a nice big reel. That reel should hold about 750 yards of 130 Line braid, and that 80 to 130 would be great. Yeah. Oh yeah, he just said that right there, like the very next comment.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Pizza's on the way. Isaac,
Isaac, thanks, man.
we don't take this lightly, do we? We're very grateful. I'm serious.
This is pretty cool, man. Dude, you guys are so cool.
Thank you all so very much. It means a lot. We'll keep the show going until midnight now. Man, I'll tell you. I might not go back to China and teach. This is getting to be so much fun here. All right, Joe Lopez. I saw last weekend 20-something pound halibut off PV trails on a plastic some guy caught off a little flow tube. That didn't surprise me at all with the kind of halibut year we've got going on.
Halibut's kind of like that.
You're into the pizza now.
That sea bass thing, you know, I think that over the years, you know, did they do the grow out thing on the halibut too? I thought they did one year, but anyway,
No.
so all that inshore stuff, you know, I mean, pretty dang good over the last couple of years. I know there's a little bit less pressure on it than there has been before, you know, with this less boats going out, but also this tuna, you know, is kind of taking the pressure off of them too. But yeah, I mean, the guys that put in the time and really enjoy the inshore fishing have been doing really good the last couple of years
And-
because it's kind of untouched.
The elimination of gill nets
Yes, once again,
has
yeah.
really paid big
Number
dividends,
one,
right?
yep.
And then you
Especially on
get
the
cold
halibut.
water back in here, Sam.
Well, any of
And
that
those
stuff.
and those fish thrive in that. And now here they are, man. I mean, this is great halibut fishing.
Yep.
I've said it
Like
many
crazy
times.
good.
I've said, why is the limit 5 on halibut? No one will ever catch a limit of halibut. Now they're doing it. You know?
Even now with the great fishing, catching 5 is kind of a lot. Mm-hmm. But no, maybe one day they used to catch that many. I don't think so.
Isaac, Travis, thank you so much for dinner tonight. We really, really appreciate it. All right. Anthony Amalfitano, who will be on the Endeavor tomorrow night. Anthony, I hope you got all the tackle recommendations.
He was
Hey,
here.
Sam, I'll be on the Endeavor trip tomorrow. I have never caught a lingcod. Can you show me a big jig or swim bait that you know works
For sure.
for lingcod? And I'll have you all know that Sam left with his pizza. He did not leave his pizza here unattended. So, yes, very smart. The Apollo 2-day trip, May 31st, couple spots on that. Also, that will be out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. And then we are going out of Seaforth fishing on September the 8th. That's a one-day offshore trip. If you want info on that, there's just a couple of spots left. 657-227-6459. Just send me a text and I'll get back to you. Sam's got the answer to your question, Anthony.
I do.
You got the pizza going. How is
Yeah.
that pizza, by the way?
Very good.
It looks
No, you
good.
don't want it. So who was it that asked?
Lincoln.
Who?
It was Anthony Amalfitano, who's
All
a
right, Anthony. So
great person.
probably the one you want to start off with here from Promar. I would say 6 to 10 ounce jig, depending on how deep you're fishing. They only make 4 colors, so it's not too complicated. This blue silver one's as good as any of them. Green one, they have an orange one as well, and even a glow one. Pretty good jig. You can also throw a big squid on there or something like that, kind of help your chances. Jesse there from Lomita, he makes these lingcod jigs. So basically, it's like a diamond jig, knife jig type jig, and it already has a glow skirt on it, and even the paint on it, it's glow. It's a really, really nice jig. It's designed specifically for targeting lingcod, so that's another one you can
That
look
looks
at.
nice.
Yeah. And Fish Lab, they make these. They're already rigged. It's a big lead head down there. It's kind of hard to see because it's painted to match the body. But if you're not fishing too deep, maybe in that 100-foot, 140-foot type depth, where it's not too deep, sometimes the guys do a real good job of getting a lingcod in those kind of
Got
shallower
a giant
depths.
hook on it, man.
Big old
I like
hook,
that.
Yeah, so if those big lingcod, I mean, a 15-pound lingcod will eat like a 2 or 3 pound,
Yeah.
rock cod, no problem. So
Right.
something like this would be good. So those are the 3 that I would probably start out with.
All right, there you go, Anthony. Let's get one. All right, Raul Almaraz. I bought a MXL and have several UC rods. Was wondering what rod to pair it with.
Well, it depends on which MXL you have. If you have a single speed or a 2-speed or a Raptor. With that single speed, I'd probably look at like maybe a Mag or a Mega, fishing 20, 25 pound. If you have a Raptor, on the higher end, you can probably go to maybe a tile fish, something fish 40 pound on. So that would be more like with that Raptor.
Very good. All right. Trying to screw me up, huh? Q-Ball says mossbacks.
That's right.
Robert Tapia. Hello, guys. Big fan of yours. Robert, we're a big fan of yours. My question is, what's Sam's take on the pizza he's eating? What's Sam's take on a Shimano Speedmaster 25? Will it work for the 100-plus pound tuna?
No problem. That's basically that Speedmaster, for the guys that don't know, is a
I'm
more
assuming you can
affordable.
hear Sam, right?
Actually, we just got them in, but unfortunately,
Sam's looking
I
right
don't
now.
have.
Hey, Travis, these are really good, by the way. These burgers are good. Have you had fat burgers before?
yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, they're good.
Really good. Go ahead, Sam.
So
Well,
this is the Speedmaster 12, which is the same size as a Talica 12. The 25 is the same concept. So basically, they went to. I don't know if you're familiar with like for instance, it would be like a Saltiga or a Saltish. They have the high-end version, and then they have a more affordable version. Well, a few years back, Shimano came out with this series of reels to match their Talicas. Same sizes. They actually now have them all the way from an 8 to a 25. And so you can pretty much tackle anything. But that 25 is the biggest one, and it'll hold probably 600 yards of 100, no problem. And 100-pound tuna is no problem on a reel like that. In fact, Shimano, when they first came out, they let me borrow a set of these. It was like 10 or 12 of them to take on my 11-day trip, just to kind of like test them out. And they did great. We were fishing 50-pound tests at Guadalupe, and we caught at least 25, 30 fish on those reels, and they performed just good.
Great.
So they're really good reels, yeah.
You were on the Royal Star, I imagine?
On the Royal Star.
You
yeah.
love the Royal Star, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of my home away from home. I love that boat.
Yeah.
I have some great memories on that boat.
I fished Panama on that boat, and that was
That's right.
that was a lot of fun.
right.
Yeah. All right. You want me to read the question slowly so you can munch down on the pizza?
good, go
or-
for it.
All right. Cue ball. The tuna gods are smiling down upon us. Robert Tapia. Hello, guys. Big. Oh, all right, we already got that one. Rintu. Hey, guys. What's a good number of jigs, specifically knife jigs, with certain size ranges that I should bring on a trip? That is an excellent question. Really
Good
is.
number. I would say between 10 and 15.
Really? That
Yeah.
many, huh?
Oh, yeah, because you got to figure you're going to have your sizes are going to go all the way from, let's say, 170 to 500. That'll only put you at 170, 200, 250, 300, 400, and 500. That's one set
That's right.
if it was all one color.
Yeah.
So if you had, let's say, two colors, and with no backups, if you had a favorite, that means you wouldn't have any backups.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't get every size, skipped a few sizes, a few colors, I think getting to a dozen is pretty dang easy. So I would think about a dozen or so should cover you for most bases. Once the fishing gets hot and you find that a certain lure is starting to really work a little bit better, maybe double up on that lure.
Yeah.
Or maybe something similar to it. That's so yeah, 10, 12, 15 is definitely not out of the question.
All right, good question. Current Jam. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Aside from marking your line or using colored line, do you know how far down your jig is?
Not really.
You're guessing, right?
You're guessing, yeah. I mean, there's definitely some formulas guys use at counting, a certain speed but it's just not accurate enough. And then the other thing too is you don't want to just think about, okay, I need to get to that depth and that's where I need to stop. Really what you're doing is you want to go past that, maybe 40, 50 feet, and work the jig past the zone. I think they locked it out.
More food. That's all we need, right? We're going to be 500 pounds at the end of this show. You know that, Sam?
You
Chuck!
things in a head,
Oh
too.
my
Limits of food.
God! Look at how much. Chuck, you're amazing. I don't care what Sam says about you, man. You're a nice guy.
So yeah, I mean, you want to concentrate not necessarily on trying to hit that depth,
Yeah.
but maybe work in the zone. Those fish aren't going to be at a hard, 180 feet or 380 feet. They're not going to be all like in a plane like that. They're going to be stacked up, but maybe stacked up, but maybe 50 or 60 feet, maybe at the most. Maybe something like that. And so you're going to work a zone of about 100 feet. So what ends up happening is that you'll go down 50 feet, come back up. Go down 50, 60 feet, come back up. Well, if you're guessing, you might go down 70 feet, come up 40 feet, go down 70 feet, come up 40. So before you know it, 405 drops in, you might be 600 feet down, way out of the zone. Or the other way around, you might be going up, going up, going up. And so with that marked line, what it allows you to do is you're going to just work that color line. So once you get down, you count your colors, you get down to like your 400 feet of line out, let's just say, and now that color is green. Well, now you know that when you get past the green, you stop, wind back up. When your green's back on your reel, stop, let it back down. So it really lets you effectively work a zone is what you want to do.
And the machines are so accurate now. I mean, the ones the captains are using, you want
Right.
to drop right to where they're telling you to
I
go.
mean, not only are they accurate, they can see your jig going down. So they can see that fish exactly where it's at. I got you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, good stuff. Great question. Thomas Schwab. Yeah, good hearing from you guys every time you're on Encyclopedia of Fishermen. Thomas, thank you so very much. I think cue ball. I love throwing iron. Glad I put the work in. It's a blast. Isaac, who sent us the pizza. Any thoughts on ball bearing swivels or normal scores for
Swivels.
these? Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean the swivels. We use mostly the just regular ball bearing swivels. I think barrel swivels is probably what he's asking about. And the barrel swivels are really more of a connection point. It does give you some resistance to twist, which is one of the things you're trying to avoid too. As that jig's going down through the column, it's not going to go straight down. It's going to be twisting as it's going down, and maybe even twisting as it's coming up. So after a long night of fishing, or maybe two nights of fishing, your line gets all twisted up. So that's one thing you want to try to avoid just to save your line. But the ball bearing swivel will spin easier, but with the ball bearing swivel, because of the way it's constructed, it has to be bigger to be the same strength as the barrel swivel. So as you're doing your rigging, you want to take that into account. Make sure if you're using a ball bearing swivel, it's a little bit bigger. They're a little more expensive, and I think for if you're only making a few rigs, it's okay. When we sell them here, we sell them with and without the ball bearing swivel. So depending on what you want to do, if you're going to be using that leader a lot, I recommend using the ball bearing swivel because it's going to last you a little bit longer. If you're only going to use it on one trip or a couple trips and maybe throw that leader out, the barrel swivel will probably be fine.
Awesome. Good stuff. Hey, hit that like button if you would, please. That really helps us a lot. And something else you could hit right next to the like button is that share button. If you would take this and share it with somebody you know that isn't watching the show, that would be huge in terms of engagement on YouTube. I know all these terms, but they mean a lot to us, so that would be great. William says Pier F. I guess he's talking about fishing Pier F maybe, which can be very, very good, right?
Yeah, that's one of those jetty spots I think
Yeah,
he's talking about.
right, exactly. All right, let me see here. God, there's a lot of questions on here. Do you know that? Let me see.
How many?
I don't know.
The wings are here. I think show's over.
No, Sam? All right, here we go. I found it. Current jam. Reels with brake control systems like Avid make it so easy to cast conventional. Share a video, you friends. Is that true?
Yeah. I don't know if we can show that here. That Avid MC cast, they call Magic Cast or MC Cast. It's actually a magnetic cast control system. It's really the only reel that really offers a very good a very good casting system for a larger reel. One of the things that that happens is that most of the cast control systems that we have come on small reels, bait casters and things like that, because of the weight of the spool. The casting system or cast control system can only really put influence on a certain amount of weight. You know, like the brakes are only so big. So if you can imagine your car, right? So the bigger the car, the heavier the car, the bigger the brakes.
Yeah.
Well, the brakes can only get so big on these casting systems. Well, Avid developed a system that works basically the same as guys who on the East Coast, they use these really strong magnets in their reels for their like long distance surf casting. Where they use those kind of reels to cast real far, and you have to use those on your reels because they don't offer them like that from the factory.
Yeah.
Well, Avid put those in there. The first time I saw one of those things, those Magic Cast reels, I thought, well, this is a gimmick, because I know that was the reason that Shimano didn't use it or Daiwa didn't use it or anybody did.
Yeah.
And even in the past, that anytime there was any type of that system in the reels, it almost was more trouble than it was worth. It never worked very good. They would rust up, and they just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And so this guy, he was one of the reps, was prototyping one, and I'm like, man, I don't know about it. He's like, man, believe me, try it. You can't backlash the thing. And I was like, okay, this is like 20 years ago. I'm like, come on, dude, like, I've been fishing long enough. You can backlash anything.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, he tied a 6X Junior on it. He's like, cast it as hard as you can, no thumb. Try to backlash the thing. We set the setting to the very highest setting.
Yeah.
And it didn't backlash. I was like, what the heck? I was like, I couldn't believe it. Now, we were talking about these other reels. They have these great cast control systems, and we have a lot of reels that do a very, very good job at that. But 20 years ago, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And they have that same system in the reels now. One of the things that I know the guys was mentioning about Avid's being kind of overlooked. Well, if it's something that you're looking for, a larger reel to cast a jig with, I know a lot of the guys that fish Wahoo like them too because you're casting a big heavy jig. They work good. They really, really do. And even though they haven't changed a lot in 20 years or 10 years or whatever the last period that we've been fishing here, I think that they haven't had to really. But once again, because they haven't changed, they don't get talked about a whole lot. But that cast control system is really, really good.
Are they more economical than other reels?
No, about the same. They used to be. One of the things about them when they first came out. Okay, so they were super popular. It's a reel that we saw a lot of and heard a lot of. At the time, they were revolutionary. They were a small 2-speed reel, and the reason that it was revolutionary, not only because they were small, is they took advantage of braid. Braid was barely starting to come in and be accepted. We were talking a lot about that before, about how you would go on a boat. I think Danny was talking about it on his podcast. And you'd go on a boat and some of the captains would, talk about how they don't want you to use braid. They're anti-braid.
Yeah,
back in
right.
the day.
Danny was talking about that.
Yeah, I was even on a boat. One time I felt so bad. I was on a charter on the first string. And the crew said, you know what? If you're into that short braid stuff,
Get out of here.
he's like, we're going to recommend you take off some braid and put 100 yards of mono on. And I felt like a jerk, you know, because those are a lot of my customers. And
Yeah.
2 days before the trip, I filled up all the reels with braid, you know.
Yeah,
and
right.
you get on the boat, the captain's like, take all that braid off. And I was like, oh, man, you know. So, I stuck with it. I was like, you know what? I believe in it. I'm
Yeah.
going to stick with it, you know. And during the trip, those guys were kind of giving me a hard time. They're like, oh, man, this braid, I don't know. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying it. You know, I like it. I already had a lot of confidence in it, so I wasn't really trying it. But
Yeah.
I just didn't
Telling
wanna-
them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just telling them, you know. And I had a great trip, you know. So after the trip, those guys were like, hey, man, can you put that braid back on, you know?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, yeah. So that's what those Avid reels did, you know. Back then, they took a reel and they created something that didn't exist. An SX 2-speed kind of was joked upon because it was like, well, who needs a 2-speed in that little reel? Well, it isn't that you need it in a small reel because it's the size of like a squitter, but it's that reel you can fish 40-pound on, maybe even 50-pound on. So guys were going out on these long-range trips and catching 60, 80, 100-pound tuna on it on a reel the size of a squitter. So now we have a lot of reels like that.
Yeah.
But when they first came out, that were the only reels that can do something like that.
Crazy stuff. All right, good stuff. Hit that like button and please share the video. All you guys who liked, if you shared the video, that would be tremendous. Turbo T2 has a stopwatch on me. He said it took Phil an hour and 24 minutes to mention albacore tonight. I love it. Rugged Dog, thoughts on fishing gloves, or is it not necessary?
You know, I don't use them. I know a lot of guys do, especially with this jigging thing, you know, because you are working that handle a lot, you know, in a very kind of erratic action. I think that might be one place where I could see some guy maybe getting some blisters or something like that on their hands. But that's all personal preference. I think if you have, you know, hands that maybe react to the rubber, I know some guys, you know, their hands will react to the rubber, or maybe they don't like having, like if they have like sunblock on, you know, and their hands get slippery, maybe they might use them for that reason too. But yeah, I think they're fine if it's something that works for you.
All right, Cue Ball Turbo, it's bet. I say 5 minutes. Israel de la Cruz, Sam, is it better to pitch a live bait out than doing an overhead cast?
You know, in my opinion, I'm still a big fan of that big old school overhand cast, and that's the way I do it. But I have seen some guys do really, really good with that underhand cast,
Yeah.
you know. I would say the biggest thing, you know, me growing up here, local fishing, is you're fishing on anchor. So you really have to get your bait out away from the boat, you
Yeah.
know. If you don't, if you're having a hard time with that, you know, try to do the underhand cast. But really, on anchor, you really have to be able to make a good long cast, because what happens if you don't, that bait just swims right under the boat and it stays there. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And those yellowtail aren't going to come any closer to the boat. So, or bass or anything, you know. I mean, you know, we've all seen it where a guy just drops a bait over the side and gets a bite, but that's usually not the case. You got to be able to get your bait out away from the boat. Now, when you're drifting offshore, because the boat's drifting away from the bait, I could say that you can pitch a bait underhand and you'd be just fine. The only thing you kind of miss out on sometimes, and one of the things I like to do, is that the crew's going to be chumming downwind, you know, to the downwind corner. Sometimes those fish will come up and they'll boil up on the chum right where the chum lands. And if you can make a long cast downwind into that corner, sometimes you'll get a bite instant right where those fish are coming up. Sometimes you don't. And the argument is that if you make an overhand cast, it slaps the bait on the water and injures it potentially. I would say that there is kind of a touch to that overhand cast, and it takes practice too. And maybe if your baits are already not doing so well, like if your bait's beat up in the bait tank, maybe that's another consideration.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough, a lot of times we be fishing here with these local boats here, San Pedro, they usually have really good bait. And in that case, I just overhand cast.
Yeah. Chuck is waiting. He's hoping that we're going to run out of questions, so we can. He's being a gentleman, not touching the chicken wings at all.
Man, I saw that.
You can go ahead,
Yeah,
Chuck.
it looks like there's a lot of. We're never
Yeah,
going to
go
finish all
ahead,
those
man.
wings anyway.
Man,
We'll try though. We'll try.
Yeah, right. Hey, the surf fishing thing. I've never tried this. I've been dying to try this. Have you ever heard of anybody doing this? You're laughing already.
Underhand cast or what?
Oh, no. So I was at Playa Saldamondo in Mexico, but I could do it in Surfside too. We're fishing like on a jetty in Saldamondo. We're catching these giant barred perch, but you're getting screwed up in the rocks losing your gear and everything else. Why wouldn't like a bob, I know it sounds stupid, But a bobber where your worm, then you drift right down that wall, and those perch were right on that wall. Why wouldn't that? I mean, you could make a long cast with that. You had the right length to the worm or sand crab or whatever. I'm thinking that would really work well. What, you don't like that or what?
I still think you snag up on the rocks. I think that that depending on where you are, I mean, those rocks aren't a straight line. You know, they're coming out, going in, going out. So,
But let's just say the surf. If you fish the surf that way.
There's too much surf. You just get all tangled up.
If you cast it out past the waves, and you're sitting out there.
If the waves are like 10 feet away for you, I mean, maybe. Yeah.
The-
No, those things are cresting. Pretty far out.
Sometimes, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're not.
Right. I don't think.
I'm
it'll
going
work.
to try it.
Go for it. Yeah.
God darn it. Chuck, get the drone ready.
I'm gonna drop stuff off on the drone for you.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, fly the drone to Catalina. Drop it. I got a blue perch. All right. Joel Lopez, any tips on how to get a job on a sport boat?
Just ask. Yeah.
Joel, they need crew.
Yeah.
I mean, they really need crew. I talked to some guys at H&M Landing, San Pedro. They all need crew. My advice is, like Sam said, just ask, and then keep your work ethic top of the chain, work hard, and be a people person.
I think there's a Facebook page for it, fishing workers or something
Yeah,
like
or
that.
deckhands or something.
But
Yeah.
just call down to the landings or show up at the landings and, if you have a resume or something like that, or even just a contact, get a hold of the captain or crew and put your name out there. I'm pretty sure someone will pick you up.
Or send me a text, and I'll introduce. Oh, seriously, I'll introduce you to some guys. Joel, 657-227-6459. I'd be happy to do that. Tony, I got a 28-pound yellowtail on a CalStar GX8 Alexa 340-pound J-braid and 20 Daiwa fluoro on the backside of Catalina Island last summer.
That's a nice
This is a
fish.
nice forky, man.
Yeah, that's a light line too.
Beautiful. That's a nice fish. Tony says cue ball. Gerald Bearless. Hello, sorry, tuned in late. Gerald, better late than never. And Israel says hello to Gerald. Combat fishing at its finest is cue ball. Andy Favelli, you want me to keep going fast like this? We'll get to the chicken wings?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? New Point guess the boys won't be coming home for dinner. I think you're right. Thomas
right.
Schwab, hey, nice meeting you tonight. Chuck, good talking to you, brother. Is it more food? Looking forward to showing you. Thomas is going to be he's in, man. He's in. So we're going to have a big tournament, man.
It's going to be good, man.
Yeah. Andy says, what economically friendly setup would you recommend for the heavier tuna, 100 plus?
Probably the Fathom 40 and either a Phoenix Axis 7'2", 40 to 100, or a Graphtec 7'8". I think it was an 80 to 100. That's probably going to be your most economical for buying an outfit. But I would recommend if you're going to fishing out of San Diego, rent one. Those landings have some really good gear.
That's the most economical
That's
way.
the most economical. I mean, if you go 4 or 5 times, it's going to add up. Obviously, if you do a 2-day trip or something like that, it's going to add up. Because they're charging you per day. But I mean, I would start off with that, maybe looking at a rental. But those two that rod and reel would probably be your best. And you're probably looking still around, $600-700 with line, something like that, for a nice rod and reel. That would be a legit. You can go catch a 150-pound tuna, with no worries type of outfit.
All right, excellent. And thank you all for watching. Please share the video. Hit that like button. We need to get up to 100. Sam, before we go to and there's not that many questions left. So if I zoom through them, we can just say goodbye. But weren't you going to unbox something tonight?
Oh, yeah.
You almost forgot.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Is there a drum roll or something
wing-
you could?
Wondering what that is
Yeah.
for the
Yes.
entire show.
It's C's Candy, everybody. We want to thank. No, it's not. It's not C's
Get
Candy.
your money out, yeah. So this is a lure that was released this year by Nomad. I'm pretty sure guys have figured it out. I kind of pulled it out already, but this
Well,
is
no, they haven't.
This is the Squid Trex.
The Squid Tracks.
Yeah, it comes in a whole bunch of
It
colors.
looks pretty cool.
It is. We got it at one of the shows and completely sold out. I mean, it was going like wildfire. And every single show afterwards, we did all 3. I know we got it at the first show, completely sold out, and they weren't available until we just got them today. So I know guys have been asking us, waiting for them to come in. We got them all
that looks-
sizes, all colors.
Squid scent.
Yep, and it's squid scented, and all the way up to this 150 size, which is kind of the most popular size, the biggest one they make. So yeah, we got them in, guys. If you're interested in getting them, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go fast. I don't think I got my whole order in. I hope I'll be getting some more here real soon. But yeah, the Squid Trex is a hot one.
All right, and that's what, sea bass fishing?
You know, everything.
Halibut fishing?
Halibut, sea bass. I mean, honestly, if we would have had this, you know, when that sea bass was biting real good, there's a kind of a whitish color one. I'm sure it would have worked. 100%.
Yeah, like those white swim
100%.
or those. Yeah, perfect.
100%.
All right, I like that, man.
Yeah.
That looks bitchin'. Yeah, you have to bring that on the Apollo.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a
definitely.
good one.
All right, Gerald Perilous on my last trip 3 weeks ago. Haven't really felt a bite or really noticed my spool stopping even in the zone, but my jigs have teeth bite marks on them. Any tips on getting bit?
Yeah. So one of the key components of that whole thing is monitoring your line. You know, when you're free falling, those tuna will bite it and let it go. You know, so you gotta kind of feel for that bite, and it might be subtle at times. You would think a big giant tuna is gonna grab your jig and start swimming away, but there are times where they'll bite it, maybe come towards you, and then just drop it. So, you know, I don't know if that's what was happening to you very much on your trip, but you want to monitor as you're going down.
All right, Chris Inslee says, hi, Sam and Phil. Hey, Chris,
Hi,
how are
Chris.
you, my friend? We'll be going bluefin tuna fishing the end of May, 3-day trip on the Intrepid.
You guys are gonna get them.
Yeah, that should be great. And you know, this thing's going to go, it's going to be wide
those
open.
fish are there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Brian 034 Williams. Hey, guys, thanks for these knowledge sessions you're putting on. 2 questions. Is the torpedo weight rigs working on night bites this year like last? And any word on what's working best? The traditional rubber band weight above the hook or the hook in line with the weight below? Great questions.
By
Thank
and
you.
large, it's been mostly the knife jig this year so far. I know there was a one trip earlier this year where a good portion of the group was using the torpedo jig, Eddie Bomb, and I think that they did pretty good on it on that one trip. But by and large, trip after trip, it's been the knife jig. You know, in the 200 to 400 gram size has been the number one thing. I know some guys have caught fish on bait. It hasn't been as successful as the knife jigs, but there hasn't been as much of the daytime fishing as much as there's been as there was last year.
Right.
But all that's coming. You know, so if you got a trip coming up, you want to kind of plan accordingly. Make sure you got your jigs, but don't forget you may be also wanting to fish that daytime bait.
Great. Brian's going on the Pacific Queen next week. Brian, great questions. Wish you the best of luck. Jeff Fuchs, Phil, are you planning to do a 2 million view party at 22nd Street? Barbecue time. I think we're waiting for 3 million now.
Yeah.
I zoomed past the 3 million. Israel de la Cruz. Shimano has a what is it?
Metanium.
Metanium
DC.
DC reel that has an anti-backlash. Is it the same as the Avid MC reel style?
No, it's actually closer to what this is, but you know, if you guys have the time to look on YouTube for the all the DC digital cast control videos from Shimano, it's an amazing system actually. It's actually computer controlled, if you can believe it. There's a little tiny computer chip inside the reel that, depending on how fast the spool is turning, it adds pressure and releases pressure. It is the most crazy system out there. When it first came out, guys were using it, and I remember thinking to myself, well, once again, like, this technology is like, it's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
We put I think it was a 1/2 ounce rubber core sinker on. We had some like 10-pound mono, and the guy says, just cast it as hard as you can and hit the tree. It was at a park. And thinking, if it's going to hit the tree, it's just going to backlash like crazy, right?
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Really?
I mean, cast that thing as hard as you can. Now, we were just doing it to prove a point.
Yeah, right.
That's not really how you fish.
Right.
But
But if it can-
but the way that thing works, even if you cast in with shifting wind, it'll automatically adjust your casting tension dynamically. I think it does it once, like one every 1/100th of a thousandth of a second or something like that. It's a very, very advanced system. They even had a Trinidad series of reels that had that DC system. Probably one of the most collectible reels out there now. Had the same deal, and it does work really, really good.
All right, excellent. I think my computer is like frozen. There might be 600 more questions. I'm looking like there's 3 or 4 more questions. We'll find out. Hey, Brandon, a.k.a. The Corpse. Corpse says, hey, Sam, is there a reason why some captains don't like you fishing the side when the troll gets bit? If so, what's the reason behind it?
Well, I mean,
Wait a minute now. What does that mean? Like if
yeah.
you're trolling?
So if you're trolling, you got 4 guys trolling, right?
Yeah.
And there's a jig bite, right?
Right.
And so you'll fish the slide.
Yeah.
So it's basically talking about fishing the slide.
Well,
Some
right.
boats don't allow it.
You mean where the guy got bit? You go to the other side or what?
Well,
You don't
there's
fish
only
the-
one side. There's the back side of the boat. You can't.
Right. Oh, you mean,
The
is
guys
he
are
talking
fishing-
about fishing in the stern?
Okay, Phil.
Yeah,
when
I'm
you go-
tired, Sam.
These boats out here,
Let me read this. Yeah.
there's a pony side and then there's a flat side, right? The guys, when they're trolling off the flat side.
I know.
That's the back of the boat. It's called the stern. So that's the side he's talking about.
Wait a minute. That's not a side. That's the bow and the stern. The
Well-
side is port and starboard.
Yes. So he's saying that after the guys that are trolling off the back of the boat get
Yeah.
a bite, the guys will cast off the side, fishing the slide.
Right.
Right. So some boats don't allow that. Fishing the slide.
That's true. I do
Yes.
remember that. And they used
So-
to like frost me
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
don't go in, hold on.
It
They're spinning the
probably-
boat around.
Yeah,
and-
it probably sometimes matters. Maybe the group, maybe open open party trips. Maybe guys who don't know where the stern is at. I mean, so they kind of
Like me?
Yeah, they kind of like.
What's the pointy end
They
again?
read the field and they say, oh, none of these guys can fish the back.
All right. I had a hard time understanding the question. I'm glad you broke that down for me. Joe Lopez. Hey, guys. What's something essential in your tackle bag that's not terminal tackle like hooks, bait, jigs, or weights, things like that? Something essential in your tackle box. Or
Empty spray bottle.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm sure you guys can know what that's for. You spray down your tackle during your trip, especially on multi-day trips or trips that you're going to be doing a lot of traveling. It's just a good way to keep
Why
your
don't
tackle
you
fresh.
be more clear about
Yeah,
what-
so you got your rods and your reels together. They're in the rack, and you're traveling, right? So you might be traveling 4, 5, 6 hours somewhere, maybe back home after your trip. And so what happens is that as the boat's traveling and getting all the wind on the boat, is that the salt water is basically drying on your reels, and that's where you're going to get most of your saltwater intrusion into the reel. So real simple solution is you get an empty spray bottle. They sell them at any 99-cent store, I think. Little 6 or 10 ounce little spray bottle.
Yeah.
And there's infinite fresh water on most boats. Fill that thing up there in the head, and every couple hours, maybe every hour, go around your reels and spray them all down. And that's really going to do 2 things. One is a maintenance thing as far as keeping the salt off your reel. Another thing too is it keeps your spools wet to where when you go pick up that reel and you need to make a cast, your line's already wet. So it does those 2 things.
All right, very good. There's a ton more questions now. I waited too long.
Yeah, I want to tell you where to fish on the boat.
They want to tell me where the
Yeah.
what the pointy end is. Yeah, thank you. All right, where are we here now? Okay, here we are. Nelson DG. Hey, Sam, can you explain why they put a rubber band on torpedo sinker fishing for tuna?
So it's basically a way to attach your sinker after the fact. So you got your line on, tied to the hook, and you could basically attach a sinker, and then you could change the sizes too. So maybe the fish are not too deep, maybe they're 50, 60 feet deep. Maybe you use a 3 or 4 ounce sinker, and you could rubber band that on there. And then maybe later in the day, these fish are at 250 feet. So you could put maybe an 8 ounce sinker. So that's the first part. The second part is that with that rubber band, it's not going to slide up and down the line. But the main thing is you can take it on, put it on and take it off at will. And also not put a knot into your line. That's another thing. You could probably just tie a dropper loop and then attach the sinker that way, but that knot's going to weaken the line. So it also makes it so you can attach a sinker without weakening the line.
PNS Harn Jack is talking to Brian, saying the Pacific Queen's a fishing boat. Just listen to the crew; they'll get you on. They'll get you on the best jig, 100%. Those guys honestly know their stuff. That is very true. On my 3-day Pacific Queen, it was all Eddie Bomb, but that's because that's what deckhand said to use. Nelson DG. Also, Sam, does your store have a website to order? You do not, right?
We don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
the best way to get a hold of us, over the phone, or even send me a message on social media. If you're on Facebook, I'm sure you have Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, you probably have Facebook or Instagram. Send me a message with what you're looking for. We speak the same language as far as fishing. We'll be able to get you the right stuff. and just send me an order and your address, and then I can send you a price.
Is there a Island Fishing Tackle on Facebook, or is it Sam De La Torre? Is that
Island
what?
Fishing Tackle.
Island Fishing Tackle. All right, very good. Alex Ram, 5510. Sam, on a 100-pound rig, how many triple-digit fish can it handle before you change out the top shot?
Hold on. Someone from Tennessee was calling.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
probably, what's his name, right?
Could be.
Yeah.
I hung up
He's
on him.
watching
Sorry.
us, though,
Sorry,
yeah.
man. So what was the question?
The
again there?
question was, Sam, on a 100-pound rig, how many triple-digit fish can it handle before you change out the top shot?
Well, I would change it every time.
Every
If-
fish.
Yeah, if there's 100-pound tuna around. I mean, if you're fishing 100-pound, I mean, well, I would change it every time, but I'm positive you could catch a limit, which is 2 on one rig. You definitely, at least one, the very least, you want to retie your hook. Even if you don't get to where the tuna is biting on the line, the knot itself might have stressed out that the line right there. The knot might have stressed out the line right there at that point. So I would probably even cut it and retie it at the very least. But I mean, a 100-pound line mono or fluorocarbon should be able to handle many 100 to 120-pound tuna. When you say a 100-pound or a triple-digit fish, that could be a 300-pound tuna might be triple-digit. But 100 to 150-pound, I think you're fine with doing a couple fish. No
Not
problem.
only do we have more questions here, Chuck has a question. Now, Chuck, I'm going to kill you.
I know. I think he's talking about the top shot.
Yeah,
The 100-pound top shot.
yeah.
One fish.
Oh, I would change it every time. Chuck was asking about the top shot, about changing the whole top shot, and
Chuck just wants to get to the chicken wing.
yeah, I would say you could change it every time just to be safe. But if it's a hot bite and maybe that fish was like 101, I'd see no problem with catching another one. But if it's a 201, I'd definitely change it. So triple digit is kind of a broad number.
All right, Israel De La Cruz. Hey, Sam, I know this was brought up before, but can you please show or recommend a way to rig a knife jig for bluefin tuna night fishing? Are you actually going to do that?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
All right, Israel, we're going to do that for you. I'll do a couple commercials. Number one, the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club Surf Fishing Tournament is May 20th and 21st. I'll be there. So should you be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's only $20. You can sign up right here at Island Fishing Tackle, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, 22nd Street Landing, and also at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club. More information, come by Island Fishing Tackle, or you can go to RedondoRodAndGunClub.com. And don't forget, 2 trips on the Apollo with 3-minute adventures, selling out fast, May the 31st. We are out of 22nd Street Landing for a 2-day trip, perfectly timed for sea bass and halibut, maybe even bluefin tuna, who knows what else. And also September the 8th, Seaforth Sport Fishing in San Diego. If you'd like details on either one of those trips or both of those trips or all the Freeman Adventures charters, all you have to do is send me a text. I'll get back to you tomorrow probably because I'm going to pass out after I eat these chicken wings tonight. Chuck's going to have to drive me home. It's 657-227-6459. You notice how my timing is impeccable every single time?
You're so impeccable.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesus.
Yes.
You're the
And
most
tonight I'm
impeccable.
going to go home with my diagram of the boat and stern bow, starboard port.
You're the most impeccable person ever.
Thank you.
Or impeccable.
Impeccable. Get us thrown off YouTube here pretty soon.
So here's all the pieces here, guys. So start off here. This is a ready-made, pre-made leader that we sell. This is actually, uh-oh.
Is there more food?
I think so.
No way.
Yeah.
There's more food, everybody.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you.
looking for. I'm not.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, excuse me. Would you come in and be on our TV show for 1 minute?
No, I'm sorry. I have to go to work.
Oh, that's terrible. We had a pretty girl for a change instead of Sam and I. What do we have now? Oh,
Oh,
my
milk
God.
cookies.
Is that JC again?
I don't know.
We'll find out. How long do I have to hold this thing?
Alex B.
Alex B. Oh, God, Alex. You killed Sam. There's
goodness.
4 of them, man. So, well, Sam, hey, right here is where you want to show that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is crazy.
Alex B.
You ever had these before?
No.
Crumble cookies? Oh, my gosh.
Oh my God. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's make sure that everybody can. Oh my God. This is ridiculous. Hey, thank you, you guys. You guys are spoiling us here. Thank you so much. I'm really seriously thinking about not going back to China.
Too late now.
Yeah, really.
So
All right,
where
Sam.
were we? So we got your
impeccable. Yeah.
your impeccable. Yeah.
Yes.
So we got your pre-made lure
There it is.
We got assist hooks here. These are the Mustad J Assist 2. There's the heavy duty. We have split rings. This is the owner size 8 ultra split ring. All right, guys. So first thing we're going to do here is
Do you need to get closer to that, or
attach the split ring to the assist hook. Thanks, sir, Chuck. And then
you want me to
now-
go out and move the camera closer? And actually do this, or
think we're okay.
Think we're okay?
Where'd the jig go? Oh, here. So here we go.
Yeah. Can you just move it like a little closer? Let's see. That should work.
So we got the jig here. We're going to attach it to the bottom. Now, as far as that bottom hook, it's kind of up to your discretion.
Oh, look at
you
that.
know,
That's
whether or
beautiful.
not
Good
you
job,
want
Chuck.
to add that on there. But that's the bottom hook there. Now, the next guy here, we're going to add to the top hook. We're going to actually add to the leader. We're going to add the other hook. Hold on. Same way there. I should be using that toy tool.
Yes, you should.
I know.
Warren,
Sorry.
Warren, I told him to use it.
He's send us a steak.
Yeah. Yeah, Warren, where's our food? Where's Charlie, man? He can have a cookie right now.
He's over there.
Hey, this doesn't look too bad like this, does it? I think it's better, except people,
Very intimate.
Whoa, look at that. Yes, it is.
So that's it, guys. It's ready to go.
Come on. That's beautiful.
Easy.
Fast.
Easy and fast.
Very good. How's that, Israel? You ask, we deliver. Sam De La Torre. Brian, 034 Williams. Let's try to give these like one-word answers. Just kidding. Thanks, man. It's my first overnight and bluefin tuna trip. I'm so stoked. So, Brian, 34 Williams. That's great, man. We wish you the best of luck. Joel.
Maybe is that the Brian that sent us the cookies, maybe?
Oh, it might be. Brian, did you send the cookies? We thank you, whoever did.
Whoever
Joe
did.
Lopez. What's a fish that either eluded you or you haven't caught yet you really want to catch? I know what my answer would be.
What is it?
It's a swordfish.
Swordfish? Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know if
I've
I
never
have
caught
a-
a swordfish.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd kind of be cool,
Yeah,
right?
I haven't really been searching it, so I couldn't say.
Yeah, I
it's
haven't
eluded
even
me.
ever fished. Yeah, I know. I've never
Yeah,
fished
yeah.
for them.
Maybe a 50-pound sea bass and a 50-pound. For sure, I've searched for it, and I haven't got one yet. And I don't really know if you can really search for something like this, but a 50-pound yellowtail.
Never caught that.
Now, I've caught lots of 40s, mid 40s.
I don't even think I've
But-
done that. I think
but,
like
no
mid-30s.
50s.
My biggest sea
Yeah.
bass, though, is 68.
That's a big one.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
That was the day my son Philip was born.
Oh, okay.
But I
That's
was
right,
out
that's
sea
right,
bass
that's
fishing.
right.
I was rewarded for doing the right thing,
And you
not
knew
being there when
that
my
you
son was
give
born.
your life to fishing.
Yes.
After then.
And after that, Philip became a fisherman, and he had it in his heart for years and years later. Of course, my ex-wife wasn't too thrilled about it.
I was
So.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Where are we now? Man, those cookies look good. There we are. The slide, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's trying to. Yeah. I know. I got it. Finally, it only took me a half hour to figure it out. Would you change the hooks on the squid tricks?
Not this one here. If you're fishing local, I think this would be fine for sea bass or yellowtail. It'd be no problem. But I think you can change them. It's got a little ring there, split ring where you can change them. It'd be pretty easy to do.
All right. Mixed Sledger says with spray bottle, wet the
Yeah.
line, first cast, a Frank Lopreste trick. Very good.
Yeah.
I talked to Frank the other day. Very kind, making his albacore observation. Alberto Ponce. Hey guys, I have a question following Phil's snafus about the.
Oh.
Hey guys, I have a question following Phil's snafu about regarding the boat sides. So the front of the boat is the bow and the back is the stern. What and why are the left and right called starboard and port?
There's a reason for it. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I forget what it is.
Yeah.
At one time I knew that. I don't know what it is.
I think one is chicken wing and the other one's pizza.
God, chicken wings, man. How much longer is this show going to go on? I'm so tired and hungry. No, I'm not. Actually, that burger filled me up. All right, the corpse is back, Brandon. Is it tangle, Sam, on the side? Here we go again. Now, Sam, this is the slide we're talking about, okay?
Yeah.
They get a jig strike.
Yes.
So is it
Yeah, we didn't
tangle?
answer. Yeah, we were so concentrated
Yeah,
on teaching you
teaching
something.
me what the bow was.
Yeah.
Like the captain doesn't trust us or something? Those jerks. They don't trust us? I know more about fishing than any one of those guys running a boat. Or are screwing up the school.
Yeah, it could be.
Was
it too.
always curious, but was afraid to ask the captains. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to ask.
More food?
Here comes another car.
No, I think that he's right on that part of it too. Is
Tangles.
It's causing a tangle first of all, and possibly losing a couple fish, and also too where on certain times where the schools are a little more boat shy, definitely could lose the school too. So
Yeah.
when it's hard enough to get a bite and get the fish to stick with the boat, those are probably the days that they're more strict about that.
Right. PNS Hornjack wants to know the length of the Apollo trip in September out of Seaforth. It is a one-day trip, my friend. One-day trip fishing leaving Thursday night, September 7th. Fishing September the 8th. Should be good, man. Fall bite down there has been awesome here lately. All right, Israel De La Cruz, Sam and Phil, I'm taking my son on a full-day trip on his birthday weekend. Nice to hear that, Israel. I love you guys. In 2 weeks. He has an 80-pound Power Pro. What pound mono do you recommend for his setup on a full-day trip?
It depends on where you're going. I mean, if you're talking about going on, here local 22nd Street Landing, be one thing. Maybe
He's in San Diego. I bet he's
San
going down
Diego?
there. Yeah, probably like the
Full
San
day?
Diego or something like that, the Grande.
right.
One of those.
You're probably right now looking at maybe 50 or 60 pound from what I've been seeing on the boats, but that can change day to day. Be prepared to take anything from probably 30 pound to 80 pound. I know that times last year on the full day trips out of San Diego, they were catching straight 100, 120 pounders, 140 pounders. So kind of ready for anything.
Lucky Rodriguez says the angle is better.
It is.
Jan6123, what is the... And then nothing more. Tim P, Lakers up by 1 at the half. Ooh. Man,
Yeah.
there's
playoff
a Laker game.
You put the Laker game on.
Yeah, that's what I We got 100. My thing is stuck, so I don't know
Mine's
that
at
I'm getting...
113. Where do you
Oh,
got?
130. I got 96 and 91 minutes. We've been going 2.5 hours, not an hour and a half. So, yeah, for some reason, that thing. All right, here we go. Gerald Perilous. One guy was recommending less hardware on your line, ditching the pre-made leaders. He attaches his knife jig straight with a welded ring to his 100-pound fluoro leader with the end crimped.
Yeah, so I mean, once again, don't be afraid to be more stealth. There are times where the fish just aren't biting too good, and that's one of the things you're gonna have to do. I know a lot of the guys who do the vertical speed jigging are using straight 100-pound right to the jig, and once again, that's gonna be a method that you're gonna want to really start looking into if the fish just aren't biting too good. I mean, you might go down to 60-pound. I think that it's important to not be afraid to change. Sometimes we buy all this gear and it's like, well, it has to be like this and this is the way it happens. But sometimes you got to kind of think outside the box to get a bite. And and the guys that are able to do that typically are the guys who are catching a few fish when nothing is being caught. So
Poor Chuck and his son are locked in here, right? It's like jail for these guys. They can't get out.
Shoot off 3 times on 100 pounds.
yeah, exactly. Chuck was just mentioning. I mean, sometimes you do that, you get chewed off. And this is part of the game. So if you're not getting bit on the big leader, 200-pound leader, and you don't want to go all night without getting the bite, you might try to 100, but you're also introducing that potential of hooking the big one and getting chewed off. So if you can get bit on the big stuff, that's what I would use: big leader, big hooks, big reel, big rod. But sometimes you got to go light.
All right, quick answers. We'll watch a Laker game and eat chicken wings. Joe Lopez, Laker Warriors series is going to be crazy. Current Jam. How do you store those knife jigs? Do you remove the hooks?
I do. Just
We
like
did
I
a
showed you
video on that,
before.
right?
Yeah.
So if you go to Freeman Adventures Facebook page,
Yep.
I'll post that video tomorrow for sure. But go ahead. If you want to
yeah.
give a brief answer.
Use the Nomad jig wallet. This is the jig insert, but this
Very
is kind
nice.
of
We have to have Chuck here more
Oh,
often.
yeah. This is a quick little thing here. This shows a jig here, but you can fit up to a 500-gram rip roller in these guys here. But what I'll do is, with these here, you can leave the hooks on. Not the leaders, but the hooks would work just fine. But, you can have a lot of hooks there. I mean, part of the whole system that you'll see on the show is that you want to take those off and not have them on all the jigs.
I'll bet 113 people aren't watching the Laker game right now. I got it. We're
Or you
kicking
can do
butt.
both, yeah.
Yeah. David Jimenez. Just finished packing my gear. Going to Ventura right after work tomorrow. I'll text you with a report since we will be on different boats. David.
Nice.
Oh, man, I talked to David last night. He was in Utah. He's a truck driver.
Okay.
And he asked me to help him out, so I called him, and super nice guy. David, I don't know what boat you're on, but best of luck to you. Joe, bon appetit, gentlemen. Absolutely. Ed Cruz, hello, Phil and Sam, current jam. Wait a minute.
Curious.
Where am I now?
Curious. When?
Oh, yeah, curious. When
Yeah.
it comes to marked line, if you lose line, do you then need to cut back to the next color?
No. I mean, once again, well, depends on where you lose it, I guess. I mean, if you lose 50 feet of it, I probably would just cut 50 feet off and go to the next color.
Yeah.
But if you're real close, probably just leave it. Like I said before, you want to be working a zone, and so the most important thing is you kind of stay tight to that zone. Also, too, when you're fishing, and you let your line down, it's not going to be straight up and down. It's going to be at an angle, and so that marked line is not important so much, like I said before, to try to get to that exact depth, but so that you know that you work in a zone. So probably don't need to cut it back too much, but you can if it's real close.
All right, very good. Hi, Mark says, hi, Sam and Phil. Thanks for the show. Your information is invaluable. I'll stop by next week as part of your studio audience. Of course, Mark brought us the fish last week. So,
yes.
Mark,
Awesome.
great to see you. Ed Cruz, Apollo leaving end of May, 3 days. Seekers will be there for giveaways.
Awesome.
Fantastic. SoCal Steve, how much are the leaders you showed hooking up the knife jig?
They're $10 and $20. There's basically a lighter version, 200 pound, and this is the heavier version, the 300 pound fluoro with ball bearing swivel and a heavier duty.
Excellent answer. Sam did a whole mini video on how to store jigs nowadays, and it's super helpful. Yeah, I'll post that tomorrow.
Yeah,
Or
probably
maybe
one of our
even
best
tonight.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good one. Tim P., do you use a mono backing before the braid?
No.
No. That's a good answer.
Lay down some tape.
Perfect. Jeff Fuchs.
Yeah. Don't even read the question.
No, yeah, that's it, man. Stern side meaning steering side of boat, and port side would be the loading side of the boat.
Sounds like a all right.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I like it. Perfect answer. Current Jam, thanks. He said thanks to PNS Harnack. Israel de la Cruz, we already did. Oh, no. I'm taking my gear with me from 30 to 80 pounds setup, but his setup is a spinning reel, and we are heading offshore out of H&M Landing.
Probably 50 pound on that. Probably 50 pound.
Excellent answer. Nelson DG. Oops.
On that. Keep coming now.
Yeah, where are you?
Oh, we got to think of a thing. Yeah.
Nelson DG. Oh, that's right. I like to know if you can use crawfish as a bait in the ocean.
I'm sure you could.
I'm sure that barred perch and stuff would bite that.
Yeah, maybe like a sheephead or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Give it a try, right? Yeah. And report back to us. Jose Guevara. I can't even read it anymore.
Guevara, yeah.
What's more effective, knife jig or sinker rig?
Sometimes
sinker jig.
one, sometimes the other.
Yeah, it all depends, Jose.
Bring it all.
Robert Tapia. Hello, guys. I have a question. I promise.
Last question. I promise.
Last question, I promise. Can I use 100-pound braid on 50-pound rated trolling rod? Can Sam elaborate on that? I have a Shimano Talus 50.
You can use it. Probably wouldn't recommend it. It sounds to me like that's probably going to be a little bit too heavy of a line for that. So to me, I would use something a little lighter.
Excellent answer, Sam. Very brief and to
He
the
won't let me
point.
elaborate. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's okay.
Shut me down.
Nelson DG, are the baby little octopus good bait?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, on the rockfish, if you ever see one spit up, I just put it right back down. You'll get one.
Big lingcod like to bite that, right?
Yep.
John Cozy, port and starboard, comes from the Viking boats. The rudder was called a starboard and was always on the right side. They could only dock on the left, hence port side. That makes sense. Excellent.
Pretty cool. Thanks.
John, you're number one. I love it. Joe Sirwall, go Dubs. P.S. Harnett. What's the secret word tonight? Chicken wings? Yeah, what is it?
We'll make it chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
All right.
Yeah. Spicy chicken wings or just chicken
Chicken
wings?
wings. Yeah.
Chicken wings. What do people get when they mention chicken wings?
Think about it as you read the next
All right.
page,
Yes. Tim P., it's halftime. You guys are okay. These guys are betting on the game or something.
Yeah.
Travis Bright, go to eat dinner. Thank you, guys. Hey, you can't leave us, Travis. Travis, thanks for the delicious burgers. Sam, this is the corpse, Brandon. Sam, I gotta have mono backing, man. Having straight Spectra to fluoro, the damn Spectra rips my thumbs up, even with that damn with that blue tape. I'm adding expletives now. Do I look stupid doing it that way?
No, whatever works for you. That's fine.
Yeah, don't worry if you look stupid. I've done that my whole life.
You'll look more stupid with a cut up thumb for sure.
Doesn't stop me. Jose, I'm in a sinker jig with the hooks on the sinker. That's what he meant.
Yeah,
Knife jig,
yeah.
and your answer is the same.
Same answer.
Yeah, sometimes one, sometimes another. Phil needs a monster right now. LOL. Yeah, maybe. Israel. DJB, 2.5 hours. I think we're all getting a little punchy. Good nights. Thanks for a great show. Is that the last one?
That's the last one.
All right. Hey, that's the last one. Chuck, come over here. Oh, somebody else just put something up there. The game is on TNT.
I just
I just screwed up something. Chuck, come over here and say goodnight to everybody with Sam and give your great surf fishing derby a plug. And I'll go out there because we don't have anybody else to do it. Oh my
I need
God.
to do the chicken wing deal too.
Stay right there. Yeah.
There'll be chicken wings at the surf fishing thing.
Where's the chicken wing?
They're over here on the chair.
Should I show some? God, look at this.
So yeah, we're having Redondo Rod Gun Club's having a surf fishing tournament. It's going to be May 20th, 21st. It's going to be a 2-day event. So there's going to be 4 places to sign up, one including Sam. The other one's going to be our Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and 22nd Street.
Cool.
We'll have all our flyers, everything posted at those 4 locations. And our website is redondobeachrodandgunclub.com, and visit us there.
So yeah, the chicken wing deal.
Yeah.
So for tomorrow and on through Saturday, what should we do? Okay, here it is. Any trolling lure, give me 25% off.
Whoa.
Any trolling lure, 25% off. You guys, I know some guys probably bought some trolling lures here today or yesterday. I'm sorry, but it starts tomorrow. But 25% off any trolling lure from now through Saturday.
Is that a Mad Mac?
That's a trolling lure.
Yeah.
That's a
I guess you
trolling
can
lure,
troll
yeah.
anything, but something that's a traditional trolling lure. You can't troll a Tatty 45 or a Lucky Craft, but something like that. So 25% off any trolling lure. Chicken wing.
Perfect. Chicken wings.
Chicken
Can
wing
you two
it
guys give me a plug for the morning briefing tomorrow? Remind everybody I'll be on early tomorrow morning.
You just did, didn't you?
No, nobody can hear me.
Oh, okay. So tomorrow, everybody catch Phil Friedman. At what time do you do it at?
I do it at daybreak, but it gets up
At
around
daybreak,
7:30.
about 7:30. But he's doing it live every morning. Morning briefing for Phil Friedman. Watch him.
And
All right.
remember to like and share the show.
Like and share the show for sure.
Say goodnight, you guys.
Good
Good night.
Chicken wing.